Hello, world. I haven't spilled anything already. Thank you for waiting. There's people here. You're amazing. Same thing as last time. Here to clean a bunch of weaponry and we'll talk to the world. So, hi. First, I'm starting with the Ashiko. They are in need of an oiling. That when you take it outside, not that you'd have to oil it every single time, but it's a good idea to keep that clean and looked after. Yep, everything's there. Everything's working. And as it's coming into winter and that temperature starts to change, the steel will have that much more opportunity to pull in that moisture and just leave it into its pores. It's actually a big thing when you're welding. You want to be able to heat up that steel beforehand and get it nice and hot, and you can actually watch you kind of chase that moisture out. Ola Joe. Happy Friday. It is Friday, isn't it? That is a happy time. Greetings, non-direction, Xavier. Hello. Thank you for the hearts. I love your skill. Thank you. That's kind. I don't know what to say to that. But it's kind. I'm biased. I like my skill too. Hello, good sir. You look. Your advice with not choking up on the hammer when forging. Miles better. Awesome. I'm glad you do. I was thinking of you. I did bring a hammer in. Because I was in the forge just the other day and I had to imagine that. I had to be really accurate to where I was hitting. And we were talking about always, and what a terrible thing to state, because of course it's not going to be always. There's going to be that time that either there's a distance issue or there's a power issue. And for what I was doing the other day, I needed to affect the first half an inch of a piece of steel, and I was using my elbow to lock myself off. But if I were to use that full hammer, I wasn't going to be in the right distancing. I had to choke up. So thank you for allowing me to state that caveat. I'm happy that this is working well for you. Oh, GYN. GWYN. Ninja Clan member, thank you. Today your plaque was made and it is now hung on the wall. You're from the UK. Then hello, what time is it for you? It's good evening. It must be much later. And thank you for joining the Nine Directions world. Then changing subjects rapidly. 7 p.m., 3 p.m., you're 4 hours ahead. Okay, that's nice. Then I don't know what your work life is, but to me, that sounds like a good evening. And on that good evening, I just want to show off that forge weld. I was really, really anxious to not bury that steel inside the band. I wanted it to look as if it was just folded in place. Oh, I love it. Okay, changing subjects. I'll keep that in mind, making my first pair of tongs as we speak. Fun. I find tongs really frustrating because tongs are not mirror images of each other. They're the exact same thing. And apparently my brain fights with that every time. And I want to make it a mirror image. And they're the exact same. So good luck on that. I'm trying to learn being a ninja myself. Could you give me a few pointers on your journey? Ooh, I guess first of all, what does it mean to be a ninja for you? Because that's that journey that you're going on. What does to persevere mean? Because there's perseverance and then there's one that perseveres. I think you got a lot of philosophy ahead of you. The training's great, but it's the mind. It's always the mind. Oh, I love randomly. Luminaire, I randomly got recommended your short on Mitsubishi. Always been impressed by your work and content since. For me, it's 2:04. Wonder how far around the clock. Sorry, not to point away from your statement, but it's interesting on what time zones we're getting here. This is awesome, and thank you. I'm glad. It's fun that people are reaching out saying that I don't even know why I'm seeing your videos, but I'm liking them, and that's like a real compliment to me because this stuff just intrigues the hell out of me. Sometimes I don't know why. Shinobi no Mono official, 9 directions. Oh, I love it. I don't know what you're saying. I need to do better with my katakana and hiragana. Not even a no. Adam, the one. Ooh, gone pretty quick. Greetings from the lowlands. Where's the lowlands, Adam? And what timeline? Not that everyone has to put it, but I just love to know, like, what's your local time? What is this? Because for me, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's always kind of that question, when's the best time to do these? It's been a battle. I'm left-handed, so it's been fun. Also, great job on that weld. Looks like natural. Thank you. Very natural. You're left-handed. Okay, awesome. It's been a battle. I'm left-handed. I must have missed something. Maybe with hammering. Keep up the good work. Really inspiring. Thank you, Romeric. Izzo? That's awesome. I'm just happy that, yeah, that's awesome. I can't. It's a feeling to think that people are inspired by what I do, and I'm just doing stuff. It's really awesome. So thank you. Thank you for your plaque. Oh, you are very welcome. I hope you love it. It's a beautiful piece of spruce. Been following your videos for a while and figured I should contribute something back. That's awesome. You don't have to, but I really appreciate it. And you talk about my videos being inspiration. That board is inspiration for me, that it just helps to like push forward. So like right back at you. Fascinated by your weapons and tool making as in my life's work as an armorer. Oh, interesting. What type of armor? You're UK based, so is it wrong just to assume that you're going to do medieval European style armor? Or are you just doing your own armor? Oh, I need details. Lumiere, Eastern US time for me. Hello, Eastern on Pacific, okay. Perhaps to train your senses. Okay, ninja work to train your senses. Oh, Zazen. Zazen, the simple, it's a Zen practice, so it's just sheer thought. And in this case, no thought, but not an active no thought, like a participatory no thought. That in this aspect, you're counting to 10, and in each case, you're giving in only to the 1, to the 2, whichever number you're on. And if thought ever engages your mind, like, I should move over, or that's an itch, or I need to get that done, or could I really leave the laundry that long? You start back at 1 again, and you are observing your own mind. Like bypass the body entirely, you're observing your mind. So when you want to know about what your senses are telling you, that world is just going to fill in those details around you because you're just focusing on that one point of observation. And then as you move forward, you can increase your senses by then doing meditations required for each one of those senses. Excuse me, I'm drinking water. Space Ghost Supreme. I was thinking Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I really love the Bjork interview in Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I've been watching the 80s TV show, The Master. And the Lee Von Cleed. If so, did your person inspire you in any way? No, I'm going to write that down. The Master. Is that a movie? And there's a name there. Lee Von Cleed. I get to learn so much on these lives. Okay, that I'll look up. So no, I can't say that inspired me, but potentially I have seen it because I'm terrible remembering names. But like as a fill-in prize, there's a movie called The Hunted, and there's a scene where they're taking the sword from the samurai character, and he's like, "You're not touching my sword. That's not appropriate. No one touches my sword." And he slams the sword into, which I believe was in a train, like an underground subway, and breaks the blade, and then happily hands him the sword. That inspired me. Shinobi Mono official, Xavier Benson. You must have the true warrior spirit to be the best shinobi you can. Coming from Shinobi no Mono official. Hell yeah. Thank you, Shinobi no Mono. Like the support. The support is amazing. I said good afternoon. You said good afternoon in that. Well, thank you for switching to a language. I'm sorry, I only speak English, and even that I struggle with at times. The tong twist for the left-handed tong are the opposite of the right-handed tong. All the examples are backwards for me. Yeah, tongs are tough. It's like one of those rites of passage to work on the forge as a blacksmith. You have to learn all those little aspects of how does this go together, though it is all practice. Okay, back to the idea of like training your senses. When you're making tongs or making anything, you're holding that thought in your mind and you're not allowing other thoughts to come through at those points. It's the same objective, just one has a lot more productivity. Drop my pencil. Adam, the one dude, the Netherlands. Wow, I need a pin, a map with pins on it. A map with pins on it. So thank you, Adam. Map. Do I need to write it and state it? 8 p.m. for you. Okay, you're the latest in the day so far. Clue. I also have no clue why I got your stuff on my feed, but it's been fun and it really motivates me to try stuff myself, starting to look into HEMA personally. Awesome, and for where you are, I bet you've got a great HEMA group. That's just amazing. You're just making my day, and I hope you like kick ass in HEMA. They've got some great source, they've got some great training. Come on. And I'm throwing my pencil around more. It's my own shuriken today. So that's awesome to hear, Adam. Yeah. Here's a good question. What was your first ninja tool you ever made and why did you choose it? Oh, what not only can I answer that question, I can show you the answer. I can show you the answer? I don't think that's how talking works. But this was technically the very first ninja tool I made. And I made it because I spent a lot of time in the dojo, and in Togakureru, we did a lot of training with shuko. None of us had shuko. The closest thing we had was a pair of rubber shuko with a little bit of nylon. There was no weight to them. So I wanted to make this, and happily, I was so ignorant to the truth, I didn't know how complicated something like this was. And it's delightful. It still fits me, though, quite painfully now, and we look at that. I just smashed the two ends together, got them. That was as good as it needed to be. You can see the insides of the teeth. Oh. And for me, it was to bring to life the kata, that we were supposed to have this movement and this strike. But why? What was behind it? So that was my first kind of hypothesis in creation. That was an awesome question. You did quite well. That is a good question. Adam, I also enjoyed it when you get into philosophical parts of your practice. Really fascinating. Thank you. I do enjoy, no matter what question that you ask, you will eventually take it to the natural end of every question ends in philosophy. I think I can just fast forward that to every topic. So I'm glad you enjoy it. So we do a lot of medieval European plate and mail for film and TV reenactors and LARPers, but we have done a decent amount of other stuff. Gambeson in cloth armor, Greek, Persian. That's amazing. What fun that would be to be just lost in that. Okay, like a shout out for a moment, completely off topic, to all of you gamers out there that can sit down with the console and just lose yourself in that immersive world. I think that'd just be fabulous, just to think that you can participate and understand that aesthetic. How much the same for you, that as you're going through and reenacting those battles, that there's that immersion, that it's its own meditation. We did a bit of Japanese 4-in-1 kusari katabiri recently, but I would love to do some 6-in-1 kusari soon. Love hexagons. Nice. Yeah, the hexagon, that's the way to go. Shinobi no Mono. I love how you're talking to each other. Thank you. But I'm like watching it and answering and like reading it anyways. What you see is magazines and movies as far as the true path of shinobi, and even with the most masters you see on YouTube. And why do not teach true Ninpo teachings? They are watered down. Ooh, interesting. What a fun question, but that wasn't for me. Marshall D. Okay, you're just a little younger than us. Younger than us, yeah, really. Interesting, like the understanding of time. That it's like 3 something for me, but it's 1 something for you. And you're in Chicago. I was there once. It's a layover for a train. You have inspired me to take up trades outside of my career and start collecting, making. Your videos have been getting this ER nurse through hard times. Really? Awesome. That's amazing. And as an ER nurse, I can only imagine the horrors that you would have to see and able to participate in a part of life that is necessary to all of us. I've been in the ER many times, so thank you for your work. And to think that I'm helping with that it's NIMPO, right? It's the energy. It's like, thank you for it's me, but I really love it. It's not. It's this, that the shrine, that wonderful mirror, that representation, that energy that flows through, that at the beginning of every class you would ask, "Onegaishimasu." Not just that empty word, but you're asking for assistance from like the light from far beyond. It sounds like lunacy, but in this case, yeah, I feel that's what it is. What is the next build in the docket? Ooh, PGL. Thank you. I've been waiting for that question for 16 minutes and 14 seconds, not to get ahead of myself, but this is the next build. I'm like, if you could see my giddy dance, I'm very excited for this tool. This is what's going to be the Kanabo. Kanabo is spelt with kin, like gold at the beginning. So that does denote metal, and now I'm getting off topic. So this is the current next build. And if I may rant on that for a moment, this went really well. So did the nails. But I imagined the nails, I needed 88 of them, so I was gonna make 108 of them, and then decided that I could do that in an 8-hour time period. I think I based it entirely off of ignorance, because only now, a day after, I realized, no. In an 8-hour period, I made 3 rows, and each row needs 11 nails. So that 1 day is going to turn into 4 days just for the nails. And I'm only 1 day into this currently, and this needs a tremendous more work. So the Kanabo is the next current workings of build. And I think a fill-in piece, I keep putting flags up in that space, but it kind of drives me nuts that I can still see the drywall. So I think I'm going to do shoji in between that. The Hunted sounds awesome. Thanks for the checkout. You will enjoy that movie. As long as I'm giving you the correct title. I guess there's also a very large caveat that I tend to watch movies only for the weaponry and the tools. I rarely watch the story. But I think in this one you'll enjoy it. Shinobi no Mono. The Master was a weekly serial starring Lee Van Cleef. Oh, that name sounds familiar. Shokusugi. That sounds more familiar. He did Lee Distati and Timothy Van Pattern. The Master. I've already written that down. Okay, it was a weekly. Where are you gonna find that? Okay, YouTube, I'm looking at you next. So how can I learn about Nimpo? First, we're just gonna like nin po. In this case, nin, we're looking at the kanji for perseverance, and po is technically ho because it sounds better, and that is gonna be law. So you're looking at the law of perseverance. That you could have a practitioner that's been studying ninjutsu for 20 years, and they've just started on their path of nimpo. That is the law of how it all is. It's nimpo. Every rule is number 1. My best advice to start Nimpo, you've got to start walking the path. You start walking that path, you are starting to understand the laws of Nimpo. You've just got to use a lot of critical thinking in between here and, I guess, whenever you die. Have you tried the Ninja water walking shoes? Maybe I missed the video. No, I've not. I'm assuming you're talking about, it's like a rectangle and we've got 4 sections of circles, and it is on my list because I always kind of question, you look at how the ropes were designed, it's like it needs like mushy area, like you're going over water, but it's very mushy water, and where I live I have an excess of mushy water, so that is on the list to try. And as I've already seen a few videos, I'm wondering what I miss out in the scrolls, like what, right? Because we only get so much information. What am I What am I missing? So I'm looking forward to that one. But I need to do the video on how to make the vest first. Have you read the Ben Shukai? Do you have other manuscripts you find interesting? I have not read either of those. What manuscripts that... The Tenshi... Yeah, I guess that would be the only one I've read of manuscripts, is the Tenshi-jin, which is this. There's just... There's something absolutely beautiful of getting into the Tenshi-jin after all the years of studying and going, what? That if you don't have that strong basis in the fundamental movements, this might as well be a different language. And that's ironic because, of course, it is a different language. And others, no, I've not. I've not. Long answer. Short response. Short response. Yeah, you get it. We've got an Ola. That's definitely a different time zone. Something about the hello. You're from Argentina. Something about the videos. I'm sorry. I'm useless with languages. I can build almost anything, but languages, they're tough for me. I will say to anyone in the chat, if you can find rings and some pliers, chain making can be very meditative. And mail is very rewarding. Kanabo. And I will back you up. There's something so meditative about putting chain together, putting mail together. Oh, okay, on that note, it just... When you have that, it's knitting. It's just knitting. And there's just something so satisfying about being able to take pieces of steel and a bit of fabric and just pushing it together the whole time, just letting the mind flow upon ideas. Wow, thank you. That looks so cool. I'm assuming the kanbo because it's going to be amazing. It is a big smasher. And then researching the kanji for kanabo, because I wanted to make the, like, it's more of a tetsubo, really. And kanabo, the kin, the kanji is for kin, for gold, and that denotes metal, but some go, it's a kanashibo. And the shi in this place is the crusher. Oh, yeah, big smasher, quite literally. Ooh, and from Shinobi no Mono, nice kanabo, thank you. I look forward to when you can see like that. We've got 88 spikes in total. It's gonna be so nice. Whoa, that's massive. It is, and it's maybe a... It asks a lot of questions, but that's for another day. What type of wood is that kanabo made of? Epic looking. Thank you. That one is cherry. And I have to... Cherry is a hardwood, but it's not a very hardwood. Ash is a hardwood. All of the fighting tools I make are made of ash, which I think is on like an 8 or 9 on the wood hardness, where cherry I think is about a 6. Which is, that's just me saying in a long way, I would have really liked to have made that out of ash, but couldn't find a piece, and that cherry was just absolutely perfect, and it's the right color. Though I have to state that in testing, there is the chance it may break. Highly unlikely, but the nice thing is I can always just burn it up and get all the parts back and build it all over again. Can you say that in Chinese? No, I can't say anything in Chinese other than Shaolin. No. Your place is awesome. Thank you. It is awesome. It is a fun workspace. I can't say yet that I've made everything on this wall, but I'm getting there. Reminds you of Daoism. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm not too sure which part of reminds you of Daoism, but I'm hoping like the majority of it. That I'd like to think that we talked about earlier of Nimpo and following that way, that law, that in studying, I'm picking this one because I'd like Zen. Shout out, great book. That empty mind, that monks traveling at the time period of like the Sengoku Jidai, the warring state period, that just this renaissance of the mind of East Asia, we had monks just running around everywhere with different thought patterns, different ideas, that I think the monk that traveled into what we now know as Togakushi, but Togakure at that time, having that Dao coming in from Shaolin, from having all that knowledge, like how it just affected all of those martial arts and every art after and during, of course. Just finished the massive wood mallet red oak head with a white ash handle, 12 pounds. More of a joke build than anything. That's amazing, though. 12 pounds of a mallet. That I'm asking if it's like a finishing hammer for if you're putting big timbers in, but I say that with this size of one. I think there's a good chance it's going to weigh more than 20 pounds. Is it a joke? I think it'll be great for training. Again, that's all I want to talk about. Well done, PGL. Woodworking, just great. The Hunted, 2003, Tommy Lee Jones. No. It's an excellent movie. Okay, Shinobi no Mono, thank you. But that is not the Hunted. The Hunt. In the Hunted that I speak. Ooh, I've done something. In the Hunted that I speak of, there's a gentleman that gets taught to use a short sword, but backhand specifically, and he works in a forge with the master. And the master's just treated him like a pet dog for a while, but was specific on the way that he chopped charcoal. He was specific on some sort, and it was much older than that. No Tommy. I'm thinking somewhere in the 80s. Oh, I'm terrible at knowing names. I can build stuff, but no. George Dillman, Count Dante, or Seagal, who wins in a fight? I don't. I know one of those people. I'm just going to throw in my own. Count Dooku, and he wins. Hello from Brazil. Hi, Brazil. What timeline you were running? I should know. I need to know these things. Wagman from UK. Hello, UK. You should be running around like 7, 8 o'clock now. Mr. Rattan. Hello. Adam. Oh, if you like the weapons in movies, you should watch The Duelage. It's an old Polish movie that takes place in the 17th century, and actors in it actually learn to duel for the movie. Wonderful. The Deluge. Gotta work on my note taking. Thank you, Adam. Big Trucker Al. Hello from Cali. Love your videos. Keep it up, buddy. Thank you, Big Trucker Al. That is an awesome comment. And I'm happy you like the videos. I think they're even getting even better. I katana tan by two. Oh, okay. I'm gonna assume Alexis Torzant also creates katana. That's what I'm going. Okay, Shinobi no Mono, talking to Axel Foley, Seagull Sensei, is the only true Japanese master. Seagull is much more dangerous than the supposed experts give him credit for. Aikido in its own, right? Seagull became quite proficient with Aikido, and that art is, they get close to you and they get your hands on you. It's not going to be comfortable. Give the accent a go, though. Ooh, which accent? Hello, Jude. Adam again. Is that a common practice? Burning wooden weapons in the armor that has reinforced the metal. Never thought about it, but it seems quite handy. Burning wooden weapons. Oh, I just would burn it just to get the metal back. But I got lost in that question because you can. I don't have any examples though. That if you take a wooden tool, and instead of having, this is a Purple Heart, so it's just standard. But if you cover this in a mineral oil and then hit it with flame, just over a fire even, and you slowly turn that outer layer black, you're burning it, but as you keep covering it with oil, you're technically not burning it, and you can turn the entire item black. What I was speaking about earlier was I just burn everything so I could get all that furniture back, because for that Tetsubo, for the Kanabo, there's a lot of furniture needed. I made my Kanabo from black walnut and ash. Yeah, you wouldn't even need to add any steel to a black walnut one. It's black walnut. You would have dulled every knife you worked on. That would have been amazing. What is this? Looks interesting. Enska. I never know how to explain this. It's just me, which is a terrible explanation, but it's the one I'm giving. So thank you for your question, though. Darth Clorax. Have you seen the bald meth junkie who streams from the homeless shelter and wears gray robes? No, I've missed that. I feel like I live under a rock. That's strange from the homeless shelter and wears gray robes. That just seems like an invite of questions. Finally, a live I can actually want to watch. FML YouTube. Well, I love the comment and happy that you like watching. It's weapons, right? This stuff is just always cool. You can't go wrong. Ninja Assassin, please check that out. Awesome weapon. Ninja Assassin, check that out. Awesome one. If you're thinking the one on the chain that has like the kukuri style blade, but it's reversed into the opposite direction, yeah. That is, flexible people scare me. Flexible weapon users, the power that they have to have and understand in the movement of that flow of energy, that just makes them dangerous on their own. So thank you for that movie recommendation. Happily, I actually have seen that one. Have you met or known Stephen K. Hayes? No, I've read his book, but I've never met him. Self-sacrifice, the black banner on the wall behind you. The pattern on that, can you tell us about it, what it is, and what it means? Yes, I can gladly tell you about it, because quite accurately, that is 9 directions. What a stupid way to explain something. My martial art, no. How I will view the martial art is in 9 directions, that there's 9 cuts. No matter what tool you've got, there's technically 9 directions in which you can attack. But then when you put it flat out, there's also 9 directions in which you can move. So it's about getting into that 9 directions, that once you can see that one angle becomes an actuality, that it becomes a strike, well then suddenly that means 8 other areas open up, that space suddenly becomes available for your attack. So I like it as kind of like a meditative understanding of how I view the martial arts. So that's what I wanted to make as my mon. And specifically, which just worked out really well, that shape is a shape that represents an old sword. Just worked out so well. Thank you for that question. I rarely get to answer that one. And we're called 9 directions. And some will say, well, there's only 8. And I like that because the thrust is always of a different view. No matter what weapon is attacking you, the cuts always look the same. But it's the thrust that always seems the most dangerous because it can be just hidden behind a shield, a shadow. It hides. Oh, I love all these different languages. I have so much to learn. Oh, The Hunted 1995 starring Christopher Lambert. Yes. You have it on DVD. You're amazing. Yeah, that Christopher Lambert, that I'm going to agree with you because you sound like you know what's going on because there's that back. Great movie. The Hunted is 1995. Is the guy from Highlander movies, Christopher Lambert. Okay, so we've got 2 people. That's the movie I was talking about. That's a great scene where he stabs the sword because no one else is to touch it. And I really like that idea that is your instrument, that this is my sword, that this, no one else need to touch it. This is to always be on my belt. I am able to access it. It's not in range. I think that movie did a great job of expressing that emotion. So are you going to finally fight Cell and save the planet? Son Goku. Oh, yeah, I'd fight Cell. As long as I get sent to that warrior planet for training, and I get someone just attacking me for days on end, for somehow I have the stamina and don't have to... I know you're joking, but yeah, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of us in the chat would go, yeah, we would so do that. Chris Glover, yeah, no clue. Do you know Greg from Kageyama Dojo? Kilroy, I do know Greg from Kageyama Dojo. I would even say I know him well. Kilroy, self-sacrifice. Pattern on the back banner on the wall behind you. Tell us about it. Thank you. I'm sure you caught that already. Yes, exactly. Are you training with King Kai? I would train with King Kai. I would train with all of them. And get a clown potentially. What a future. What a story. Watching while working on this heavy bag. Well done. Bang, bang. Just, yeah. You don't even think about your knuckles. You just think about the strength you're getting. Thank you. I'm going to ask that everybody that is like enjoying this chat, send a little extra energy to working on that punching bag. Igor, kick ass. Been waiting for you to take out Sal. Yeah. Put on. Okay, I'm in love with this idea now. So thank you. This is just going to live in my mind for the rest of the evening. I found the NPC merchant to buy weapons from. Sweet. What's the price for each item? I found the non-playing character merchant to buy weapons from. It's my goal in life. When I would travel to shows, I had specifically a wooden booth I could set up because I could line it with swords. And so often I was just like, are you an NPC? And it was so wonderful because I could give everyone the experience. It's like, why? Do you want to play with every weapon in here? And they're like, yes, please. And the fun would commence. Those were fun years. I love your stuff. Love your channel. Keep doing what you're doing. The rib? We're calling that. Triple threes. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And it does. It helps me go forward to keep filming, to remember to hit record, to keep the batteries charged. Thank you. Hello, Hassan Idris. Oh, again. Shinobi no Mono. Seagal is a master of Afiko, Jiu-Jitsu, Kenjutsu, and trained Karate, Kobujitsu under Fumio Dimura. Yeah, it does all make him challenging, but just the Aikido alone makes it difficult. But I hear what you're saying. Sir, GB Mallow, Bim Bim, aren't those 8? I'm sure that's a colloquial that I just do not understand. Dude, yes, lovingly, thank you very much. Beautiful. Awesome. What's your opinion on the Kusarigama? Oh. One, it's sad that I live in Canada. It's not sad that I live in Canada, but in Canada, I'm not allowed to have that length of chain attached to a weight. I can just have it a length of chain. And I love it. And I'm not a fan of flexible tools. Flexible tools and I have our issues, but there's something quite magical about having, I'm kind of a fan of the reverse grip right now, of that chain to be able to just to occupy the senses. Someone that is whirling a chain around, your mind is giving a lot of time to that area. So back to another gentleman that talked about Nimpo and that idea of meditation, giving into Zazen, that idea that when someone is swinging a chain in front of you, that won't allow you, they're not taking your mind, because that's the objective. The chain wants to take your mind. It wants you to be distracted. So the Kusurigama is just a king of distraction. Whoa, even got a Nuburi. Ooh. I gotta work on my languages. Are you going to fight? Oh, I got that. Are you not even training with King? I've got to say that. Are you going to fight Sal and save us? Or are you not even training at King Kai's? Should have looked at the camera while saying that. Wow, I feel lazy. I'm not studying with King Kai. I'll work on that. Would Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade be useful or practical? Anything that's hidden is always practical and useful. And I'm assuming you're talking about that wonderful wrist. See, I'm useless at video games, but the weaponry that they show off, I usually am aware of. That it is close combat, but as something comes in with an aggressor, that if you're waiting for it, that is a totally useful tool. Kind of terrifying as well. Of course, depending on how much string action, it may not be spring action, but how much force will go through the blade if you're looking for the movement to do the puncture, or are you look and then it's got strength? That's a question. Hello, Ramza Alam, and hi from Michael Casper, GB Mallow. Yes, I'll pay your bill. Awesome. I don't know what we're paying for, but that's great. Eat all you want. That's the origins for. I want to buy your sword. No, you got to make your own sword. You can't buy my sword. Nope, I get it. The point being thrust. The point is always first. The point is focus, and focus is the point. Yeah. Oh. That's amazing. But yes, yeah, it's such a devastating attack. That so much of Nimpo Taijitsu that we start training with is the ski. This understanding that it is a sacrifice attack. That first strike that you practice is you give all of your energy to just one motion, and you end in a position that if you got it right, you're laughing. If you got it wrong, you're on the ground screaming. The thrusts. No, thank you. No, thank you. Shit, I'm late. Shock Willie. What do you mean you're late for? We're still going. Do you want to sell it? No, I don't. I don't know what you want to buy, but I don't want to sell anything. I just like making things. And drinking water. Hello from Chicago. Frankie D. Not saying that you know the other person that was from Chicago earlier, but you're the second from Chicago. Regan Shelley. Oh, I'd like to say they're further, but as we're getting closer to winter, we're getting closer to me having the desire to make the screws needed for the handles. But I've been training with them. And in the regard of that, they're just absolutely amazing. I'm so happy. And I've answered the question on how I want to heat treat them, because I was having an issue because I don't want any of this heat treated. I want to leave that all just regular carbon steel. Only here do I want the Hammond, and I finally figured that out. So thank you. They're going well. But like the sewing projects, I'm waiting for colder weather. Kilroy, I recognize you. I was a student of Greg when I was in high school. We met a few times. Interesting, Kilroy. Yeah, I'm guessing that would have been in the Toronto dojo, downtown, like Lansdowne and Bloor. What a delightful area. Yeah, Kilroy, the name's not familiar, but it's nice to see you again. Yes, I would pay the game. Yes, I would play the game when I got on multiplayer and got a sick and tired of just like finding like the dust bar people, because like now they find them. Hey, it's Otto again. Once again. Oh, it is Otto. Hello, Otto. Over to the clothes. Can you tell us a bit about the kimono you are wearing? Well, the first thing I can tell you about the kimono I'm wearing, I ripped it like just before this live. So sadly, I have to cough. It is one of the simplest garments there is. And the one thing I want to point out, that traditionally the looms were only so wide, and I think it wasn't more than 18 centimeters. I don't think it got as much as 30. Either way, there was a certain distance, and that's why there's always your hemlines going through. Other than that, it is completely like the simple. It's a rectangle at the back, and then you just rectangle it at the front, and then you cut this seam, unless you want like a Shaolin seam, and then you just cut it up higher and get it closer to the armpit. Thanks, Otto, and nice to see you here. Moon Fletch, I like that. I created a natural born design. Natural born. 9 people who just kidnap, You kidnap people and then send them back on their way. Hello, please call my name. Okay. Shale YMD. Oh, I feel like I'm falling for something there. Would love the way to share and see what others are making. Any chance you would make a Discord server or something similar? A way to share and see what others. That is an awesome idea. A Discord server. That is an awesome idea, because so many people have started making things and or training. Like, GWYN, who is studying HEMA now. No, is already studying HEMA, but someone else is looking into getting HEMA. Discord. I know a lot about hammers. This stuff, I still have to research, so I will look into that. Thank you, Shock Willie. You've been here before. Collab. Chewy, how do you make the ring on the end of the tang of the knife? I'm struggling making one. Ooh, okay, so there's 2 ways that you could be making that ring. Someone just gave us $10. Wow, thank you. I'm gonna let you know now. That's gonna go to charcoal. Ring. So there's 2 ways. There's probably way more ways. Really simple way, you draw out a rod anywhere between 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch, and then you make the ring. In some examples, people will weld these closed, or you just center punch that and you keep drawing that out, which means you could just leave it small, or you can just continually draw it out to thin it. And it's important that when you center punch, get it as centered as possible. If you can see, I had that off just slightly. It's terrible. So I hope that answers your question. Do you prefer the Koga Shuriken? What do you mean by Koga Shuriken? Do you mean like the Teppon, the Ninja Star style, or the straight blade? Because I don't get the Ninja Star style, so I guess I have to state it's the Bow Shuriken. I have to like those as my favorite. I train Okinawa Kubudo. Oh, I love that. And I love articulated weapon Nunchuk and Shin rope. Oh, fun. Yeah, Okinawa Kubudo. That's, and yeah, great. And yeah, just the great forearm strikes. I'm glad you're training. Keep it up. Space Ghost would visit my local area. We have a museum with European arms and armor. Having a Japanese ninjutsu practitioner would be so awesome. Geez, I would travel everywhere if I could. So yes. Shinobi Noah, do you train with Yawari? I asked because of the recent bow shuriken you forged. The Yawari. How, when you say ya, I'm thinking bow. Yawa, I don't know. Sorry, man. I need English. Bjorn, hi. We got Alex, hi. Bjorn, hi. Said hi. Hi. Don Juan. In my culture, it's compulsory to carry swords of different sorts of weapons. So I'd request you to make more videos of the use of katana or different other weapon practically in real life. Fun. I'd love to do more sword videos. That's great. Nerd Beef, Koga Shuriken, or Sunben Shuriken. Ah. Okay. Yeah, I would love Sanban. That, just like the Kusurigama, that weighted end. I guess it's because we get healthcare and these things can really damage you quickly. I don't have access to those. But I should travel to Japan and play with them for a while. Failure of an instructor. 2-bit failure of an instructor. That could be towards me, or it's towards themselves. I'm not too sure. Hello, Master Splinter. One day I'll get there. Meaning you made it yourself. Oh yes, sorry, back to the kimono. Yes, everything I've made myself. I just make like slight changes of it, so it is definitely my design. It's hard to do with the kimono. This one is they're all so very similar. I get to make changes with the pants, which they're nowhere historical. But the kimono is almost. Why are you here, Dr. Dirt? You mean like on Earth? Why are you, or like on YouTube? Sorry, Dr. Dirt. I don't know. And we've got collab Chewy, $10. Thank you. That's amazing. Yeah, that's gonna buy charcoal. Hi, Kylie. Shinobi, nice, yes. Adam, I think the difference between European and Asian is quite fascinating, especially on how the train begin eventually stuff like games. Yeah, we think we've got all of those different areas that have we come to the same conclusions because all the humans have the same weaknesses. So these weapons and these ways all work on regardless of what human you are. So it's fun that you take apart and you visit all of these different structured martial arts, despite there being called different things and with slightly different balancing, all doing the same thing. I enjoy your videos. You're very interesting. Some random person. Thank you, some random person. I like that comment. And I think, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I don't know if I'm great. I'm getting better with compliments. If you do make a Discord server, I would be happy to lend assistance. Been on the platform for about 10 years. My profile here is, I'll look at PGL. Okay, thank you, PGL. Because I think that would be fun. I've lost my notes. To have a Discord server. I was supposed to join a Discord server recently and never figured how to figure it out. Chewy, thank you, Chewy. There's so much comment in samurai from Japan and Nihon from India. Both are warrior clans. I'm sorry, I totally butchered those words. Warrior clans compulsory carry 2 swords and multiple other sword weaponry. Yeah, there is. There's so much in there's human. Though I feel the need to point out that the Indian metalwork was done on such a different level. So much crucible steel, so much actually wood steel, that the magic of steel coming, you rarely read a metallurgy book that doesn't comment about India's ability with steel. That wood steel was a game changer. We got some more highs again. I think I scrolled back. Do you recommend romance of man? Not familiar, question mark, do a flip. No. I think that Ninja Smoke is pretty awesome. Who doesn't, right? True. What's your knowledge of the smoke bomb and do you use them? How are they used appropriately and do you mix any kind of knockout gas? Ooh, fun. Knockout gases. So that's like disclaimer, the period I really enjoy is the Sengoku Jidai. So that's like 100 years of war. And the idea that there was generations that remained in armor. It was just the warring states. So that's the timeline that I focus on. So as for like knockout gas, unless there was one at the time, I'm probably not going to be too interested in it. As for though, there would have been incendiary devices, but they were rare and now we're getting closer to like Edo time period and cool and all, I like to keep my fingers. I like this as like the true original smoke bomb, the one that we can disappear into. More so just because of perspective, that this one would be crushed and just thrown into the eyes to blind the opponent. Can work on multiple assailants, and it was also known to be carried in scabbards and other devices to blind. So it may not be as flashy, quite literally, as a bomb, but it does have that effect of being able to, well, hide in the shadows. I've seen a lot of your videos and learned quite a lot and tried to make some weaponry myself using an angle grinder and hammer. Well done, Don Juan. That's amazing. You gotta make stuff. We're all so many people. I've got to get a Discord going so we can share the pictures that what people are making. If you're using an angle grinder, you're not making the steel any denser, but who cares? You can still always get a great heat treat on it. So you could have some awesome stuff with the grinder. I made, for years, really only had a grinder. Shinobi no Mono Iwari is a traditional Japanese weapon made of wood, 9 to 6 inches long, designed to fit in the hand. It's for striking and applying pressure to points on the body. Oh, Yawari. Okay, so now these are not that, but this is what you're describing in the use of that tool, that you can take thrusts, block, and those ones you could have thrown, but you of course wouldn't, and they were normally larger. And I think if I were to wrap the centers of these and give a little bit more grip, that would fit into that. So I have just started my adventure with that style of movement of the Yawari. Of a traditional Yawari, not yet, but give me time. Wow, I caught you live. Does that not, Ethan Baker? I don't go live that often though, so thank you. Oh, 108, that's auspicious. What a lucky day. I just wanted to say thank you for all the content and education. It saved me a few times now. Funny how things you learn in passing can come in a clutch. Really, it's amazing. Yeah, isn't it? What is it? Chance favors the prepared mind. The more knowledge we have, the more ways we can look upon the world. But with that said, the expert mind can be dangerous. To a beginner, always are possible, but to an expert, there's only few. But thank you so much for your comment. Excited to play the Ghost of Yotai. Are you? I'm terrible at Igor, but on the note of the Ghost of Yotai, for a person that does not play the video game, she uses a great sword and she draws it off of her back, which is amazing. And I've seen the gameplay, and it's a really cocky draw because she grabs the handle and throws it up to grab the blade to pull the rest of it out of the scabbard, which I think is awesome. But then when she resheathes it, she doesn't go through that same process of pinch grip to place back in to the scabbard to drop and smash me in the head. But it's not the right guard. So no, but I'm looking forward to see what else comes with their actual gameplay and use of the weaponry. And the lady that's making the kunai, they're great. They are nice looking kunai, but that's another story. Ah, the eye crusher. Only words? Yes. That is the original smoke bomb. Is that what they call a kanabo? Oh, do you mean this? Because eventually this will be called a kanabo. But I think specifically because there's no metal on it, It's just a bow, but once metal goes on it, 100%. But then what's the difference between a Tetsu bow and a Kana bow? I'm putting it out there. I think a Kana bow is just much more complicated, but that still needs some research. If you start Discord, you have to share cloth designs as well. Yeah, done. I want to do videos. I'm going to do videos on how to do all the clothing anyways, because for all of it, it's quite specific on you need to measure yourself and how you can outline it. So we're just going to go over all of the rectangles you draw and then where you cut away and add. It's going to be great. So yes, all of that will be available. Don't forget, YouTube can teach you how to do most things, from forging to woodworking and even setting up a Discord server. Okay, smart ass. Yeah, you're right. I've learned how to do how many things on YouTube. There's no excuse. Oh, thank you, PGL. I needed that swift kick. In today's time, it's only Japan left with the techniques using tamahagane to make katana. Yeah, but tamahagane is Japanese. That is their art entirely. In India, it's almost impossible to find someone near that quality. But they don't do tamahagane. That should be like a crucible steel. That there's a lot of these forges that are just in the ground. That it's they just have such a control over their carbon content. But yeah, totally up for debate. Adam, one of your recent videos where you explained the 9 directions really reminded me of some of the stance of Joachim Meyer that emphasizes movement, a few stances that were used as a base. I think like all of it, it's such a human way of thinking and moving that I really enjoyed that. In Kyuhoko is 9 directions. And that's in Japanese, but if you read it in Chinese, that same kanji means all directions. I think somehow that fits even within that. Shinobi no Mono, don't forget to hit the... Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Denmark. Wow, what time is it for you, Denmark? Stephen Hayes, Washington, here as a child. I love your videos. Thank you. They're fun to make. What are the origins of your practice? Did you attend a specific school? Did you gather information yourself? Or so what? How did you learn, etc.? First time here, guys. Danny Vale. Hi, Danny Vale. Joseph A. What is the origins of my practice? As a 7-year-old, I got lost in the fact that in the comic book, a sword that remained in its scabbard was stronger than a sword that has been unsheathed. That did not make any sense to my little brain. And somehow that continued on until I started EI. EI was the first art that I started. I have to repeat myself. And then afterwards, I found School of Ninjutsu. And then I started traveling to that school, which was in Toronto. And then while in Toronto, I studied Heiho Nite Nichidi, which is Miyamoto Musashi's dual sword art. And in that time, I also got to spend a little more time studying Shaolin with a teacher for a while. And then, of course, there's always YouTube and there's wonderful videos. Shi the Yang, I was just watching this morning with his moon crescent saber. Oh. So I have a lot, and there's even a ton I'm just leaving out of just that discovery time of martial arts. But I hope that answers your question. Good Shinobi, gotta hit that like. You guys are great. You're just all amazing. Thank you. Danny Vale, hello. Space Ghost, how do you start training in ninjutsu, an area where I have no instructors, recommendations, other ideas? I was there. When I did find a dojo, I had to travel 3 hours for it. And that was ridiculous. In the winter, it was 5 hours sometimes just to get home. YouTube is going to be a big fan, a big participant here. And most of martial arts is going to be on your own anyways. Like 80% is your own diligent practice. That 20% is like 100% important because you need to also work with others. But in that timeline where you can't get to a dojo right away, you practice your basics. That I did a video of just the Kihon, the basic movements of Kamae. Practice those movements, understand that movement, and then practice on how you would attack from those movements. And always that you're practicing slowly, understand the force and the angling, your posture. I hope that helps, but it's tough. But that spirit, what you need to build in here of just, there's a gentleman that's been on here playing the live, hitting the punching bag. Thousands of punches, thousands of kicks. If you can build just punches and kicks in the realm of 1,000. When you do get to that school, that instructor is going to be able to just go, oh, do this, 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 and this. And your body has already got so much understood. It'll just need like fine tweaking. And the whole life of a martial artist is that fine tweaking. So good luck. We'd all love to watch you do some tricks using all the weapons you've made so far. A collaborate video of all the weapons and how to use them. Don Juan, that would... Yeah, I think a caveat for that is I need to get some well-trained people to attack me to really allow these things to come to life. Because there's one thing to be able to explain how they work, but when you can actually see how it's happening timeline-wise, it means so much more because there's a spirit, but I'm working on it. A very cocky draw. I've never heard of a form described with that kind of personality. Yeah. It's a very cocky draw. The fact that when she throws it up, you're just letting that sword go and that to grab that edge with practice, that is cocky. And to be able to now hold, and a daito, you could be looking at like 10 pounds to pull that out two-fingered. Oh, that's cocky, but it's also sexy. That's a controlled draw. And then to be able to grab the blade again, because I'm sure they meant to animate it this way, and then resheath it on the back. Ah, it's just been amazing. Hello, I like your videos. Jado, thank you. It's awesome. It's really, yeah. I think I have a fair amount of confidence when I make things. They're getting better. I'm understanding each time. When it comes to the digital world, it's a lot harder to really gauge that growth. So thank you. It means a lot to me. Shinobi no Mono Yuwari is a traditional, yeah. Yeah, twist. Oh, that's what's happening. It just jumps. This is my I know what's going on face. Oh, you took it away. I thought you added something at the end. But you did add, or I didn't mention it last time, that there's that handheld tool I was talking, I'm going to use a pen for a moment, where there's the strikes and the jabs, and I completely left out because it's an important part, so thank you, Shinobi no Mono, that you're attacking pressure points with this. You're just willy-nilly trying to attack anywhere on the body. You're looking for very small targets. And when you're looking at against someone like Sengoku Jidai, someone in full armor, there's only few targets you can go for. So that practice really means nothing without that little bit of information that it's very specific targets. Agreed. Ethan, agreed. It's the best to perceive oneself as a novice in all regards, to the best avoid folly. Again, thank you. I wish you well in all your efforts. Oh, you're awesome, Ethan. You're awesome, Ethan. Thank you. Yeah, it is such an important, it is, yeah, a novice. Of course, with confidence, but yeah, beginner's mind, always the beginner's mind. And not that you need a book review, but Banki, practically every lesson he goes to is about employing the beginner's mind. In time and time, people ask him multiple questions of what can I do, and what can I do, and what can I do? And he's like, oh, the beginner's mind, and you'll be fine. I've never seen you before, but you look tough as hell. UNC, what do you do? Unk, I know that one. I look tough as hell. That's funny. Thank you. I do this. I hit things and then make weaponry. That's about all I've ever done. I study martial arts and I live a very specific, secluded life. I love my rock and I live well underneath it. Thank you. What steel or metals do you use to generally make weapons, and how do you keep the rust free, and how to clean? Well, thank you, Don Juan. I feel like I have to add, the whole point of this video was on cleaning the back wall, which I've done very little of it. As it is carbon steel, you just need to keep an oil coat over it. And as long as there's an oil coat over it, it's not going to rust. But let's say it did rust because there wasn't enough oil on it, then you're just going to take fine polishing abrasives. In the case, let's say this one, this was only polished up to 2000. So I can take a bit of emery cloth from hardware store, the automotive section. They usually have really fine sandpapers. It's not sandpaper, it is an emery cloth. And you can take some of that finer rust off in small pieces. And for just daily maintenance, you would use something like this, and that would take off all the old oil, strip off any of that surface grime, and then you re-oil it again. And depending where you live, if you don't have a lot of humidity, you don't have to clean that often. But where I live, there's a lot of humidity, so I kind of have to make sure that there's always an oil coat, because steel it's quite porous. Surprisingly, how much moisture it can absorb. And for steel, it doesn't need to absorb that much for it to be a problem. I usually use spring steel or high carbon. Yeah, I use everything, but yeah, spring steel, high carbon are, I feel like, the best tool. So I'm assuming do you do mostly a water quench or do you an oil quench? Chewy, did you give another $10? Dude, you're amazing. Wow, thank you. I want to make 2 knives, one large ring knife and another small knife. What knife would you say pair best together? Like, what? I value your opinion higher than mine. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna make you, no, your opinion needs to be much higher than no. You're awesome. You gotta trust yourself. When it comes to you gotta measure that with your soul, man. That it's, my daily carry knife is just this. It just needs to open packages and open small items. But would that be the next upgrade? But then that's a different style of knife. Are you looking for both knives to be like functional? Now this is a chiseled edge, so maybe you're thinking something like a chiseled edge, flat on one side and curved on another, and another that has like a double edge. Or maybe that's something that pairs well, like that I have fabric scissors and cardboard scissors, that you'd have a knife used for 2 objectives, or 2 exactly the same knives. Make one out of carbon steel, high carbon, and one out of a high carbon spring steel, and just see what happens edgewise. I love this knife. I loved all the knives I've made, but every single knife has a different quality of edge retention, hardness, and how it's able to handle and hold that edge, that sharpness. Excuse me. I hope that helps, and I hope you make an awesome knife, and I've got to get this Discord going so we can all see these knives. What best and useful weapon used by Ninja? Great work. What best and useful weapon used by Ninja? Great work. Subscribed from India. Thank you, India. Not that you yourself are a country. What is the best use? I feel that simple. I'm going to say it's the mind, and I'm going to go to Kumagakure. The best weapon is deceit. It's trickery. It's looking, what is it? Looking strong where you're weak and looking weak where you're strong. I think that is the best, no matter what tool you're engaged with or what tool your opponent has. It's always going to be based upon that moment, upon your mind, and what do you want to get out of this situation. So yeah, it's always the mind. Always the mind. Is there a specific style of ninjutsu you practice? I've been doing American karate along with other mainstream martial arts. How do you recommend starting in ninjutsu? There is a specific. So I'm still part of the Bujinkan. The Bujinkan is now like separated into all of the separate 9 schools. I focus not specifically, but Kotoru and Shinden Fudoru are like my happy areas. There's a lot of hitting involved in those arts. As someone that wants to get started with it, unless there's a school right down the road from you, that's tough. I am working on filling more videos and more information within that. But for now, all I can say is your punches, your kicks, learn your kamae, learn those basics, really grind in those basics and watch as many videos as you can from all of these different creators. That we have so many different bodies, so many different types of movement, and this platform gives us access to so many of them. So good luck. What's up, man? Satisfaction's a great name. I love what you do. To be honest, I love you. Like, to be honest, you're an amazing person. Thank you. I don't know if I'm amazing. Yeah, if you're saying I'm an amazing person, I'll take that. I'm getting better with compliments. Thank you. You're an amazing person for taking the time to say that. Genuinely enjoy information videos and the tools you've made. Great stuff, man. Thank you. We've got so many more to make. We've just really scratched the surface of the items that this channel needs to make. And it's genuinely awesome to hear that people like the videos. What do you think of small clip point knives like seal pops and cold steel? The clip point. I don't use, I don't, How do I word something that I know nothing of? I don't have a thought upon clip points that I always focus on the kisaki, just that tip that's either going to have a chisel tip or it's going to have a round tip, or I'm recreating something. So I don't have any on the different shapings. It all depends on what, it all depends. It can depend on what it's going to do, or more accurately, how do you want it to exist? How does it need to look? So many things for me, it comes back to what does your soul say? How does it make you feel? And you just keep working those lines until you feel, yeah, that is correct. I hope that helps. My weapon of choice is my kitchen pretty knife. Oh, my kitchen knife. Thank you. Great videos. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny how I think I know many martial artists where their kitchen knives are scarier than the tools that they have on their walls. Happily, my kitchen knives are also very sharp, but I made them as well because oh, jingle bells. That wasn't the right thing to do. Thank you, Matt T, for that question. Matt T. Big CMCG, my weapon of choice. Oh, I'm catching up. 3 films that are good for ninja fans. You may not have heard of Red Shadow. I have Ake Kage. Thank you. That was such a smart-ass response of me. I really enjoy Ake Kage. Conquered Ninja and Norwegian Ninja. I haven't heard of the other 2. But Ake Kage is a fun ninja film. And they're not like just pinned together and like everyone getting attacked, which is kind of a nice change. Checkered Ninja in Norwegian. The ending makes it easy. Thank you, MU795. Kinetic, which weapons that you have made would you use for modern self-defense carry? Oh, that's a fun question, because if it's modern self-defense, I can't carry anything. If I'm carrying something, I feel as a martial artist, I'm carrying it with the intent to be able to use that. So I think for myself, a pen is going to be of great use. In normal clothing, a belt that can be removed with that large belt buckle is like always my go-to. That means I can extend my range by 36 inches. That's always a benefit. I think I'm also a big fan that, like, what is happening in that scenario? I'm always spouting off about the mind is always going to be your best weapon. And I'm probably going to use this for a while and like, what's going on, and try to talk my way through this of what's happening and how can I get out of this as easy as possible? Because I don't want to employ any of these items. They're like as you said, self-defense. And I really hope that I can stop anything happening before I need to get to the point I feel to defend myself. How old am I? Exquisitor. Thank you. I like that question. I keep being asked that question. For some reason, I never answer it. How old am I? I don't know. How does one age? Does it really matter of how many times your physical body has gone around the sun? Does that really account for anything to what's actual age? Or is it just this flesh suit that's in front of me that technically is only 7 years old because of cellular division? Time is trippy. Novice, always keep your cup full. Isn't that the truth? Where the expert, you empty that cup every chance you've got. Thank you for that point. Danny, good point. Show some shit again. You know what, Fud? I don't know how to, but gladly. What kind of shit again you want? That's like simple carbon steel. Actually, this is it's a spring steel that was heat treated wrong. And these are my absolute favorite shuriken. This is just a bow shuriken. Dead simple, not even carbon steel. This is just a mild steel. But if you heat mild steel to yellow, to almost melty point, and then quench it, you get a very resilient, hard steel spike. It's going to last you a long time. Shivram, any daily exercise recommended as ninja professionals for normal men? For normal men, none of us are normal. We're all just exquisite. For daily exercises, as I stretch out, stretching If I do, the only thing I do every single day is stretching, 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 stretching. And like, if it had to be just one exercise, as I can show right here, it's going to be just the dead hang. That this makes my back. It also knocks down my light, apparently, because that's where my light's hanging currently. But that would be my absolute go-to every single day exercise. Past that, squats. Who taught me? Oh, I've been really lucky to have so many teachers in the past. Sorry, this is bothering me. It doesn't look right because that's right. I've had so many teachers, and I did like, where do you start? Just so many teachers and so many books, so many opportunities. I think the best teacher for all of us is just shutting up and listening. That in almost every moment we can gain something for our own adventure. Have you written any literature? I'd love to buy some. If so, I've read a lot and have a son on the way, and I'd love to pass on the knowledge to one day. Wow, thank you. Good luck with having a child. That is going to be just crazy. No, I've not not written a thing. I build stuff. I'm working on, I want to make a book, but of course it's going to be a picture book. I don't know if I'll include crayons with it, but I feel that might be a fun, connect the dots, but then have lots of really nice pictures. Give me another few years and I'll probably want to write something. Shuriken Zone. Hey buddy, nice to see you. Hope you and all the friends here have a good and fruitful week, and you may have missed this earlier, but what happened to the truth? Nothing too serious. Oh, happened to the thumb. What happened to the truth? Yeah, you've missed a lot. So I was dumb. So I don't know, if you go back to some of the videos, you'll see there's a large black spot on my thumb because I dropped a piece of firewood on it a couple weeks back. And it was an interesting piece of firewood because it fell not from a really high height. It wasn't 4 feet. But I did an abnormally long pain dance afterwards. Finished that dance off and I went back to it, and then the thumb went black. But now, as the thumb has continually grown, like I totally damaged the thumb bed, and I'm kind of thinking I might lose that nail. So I'm wrapping it up just to remind myself, don't do anything stupider, Matthew. So thank you for the question, Shuriken-san. One of my favorite non-lethal tools is blinding powder. Oh, it's great. I make it from ground aspirin and chili powder. It works great and is legal everywhere. Ground aspirin, wow. Right? If you can just pocket sand, you can wash the eyes out and you can get away without any lethal. That's great. Though, on that note, in Japan, I think this was a really interesting tool. Side note, Sengoku Jidai, they had these wonderful big hooks, and they had hooks everywhere. And it was about taking prisoners and moving them along. Well, there's a modern tool. It's like a giant slap bracelet with ropes attached to it on the end of pole. So if people get a little crazy, and this slaps around them and they're locked up. Some interesting new technologies. Gary Bratt, hello brother. Hello brother, am I a blacksmith? I'm going to say no, because I'm not a blacksmith. I'm not, I've never properly trained. I'd say I've had teachers, but I do make things out of steel, and I have done so since like 2006. Wow, next year's like 20 years. You read the Hagakure? Yeah, everyone should read this book. It is just a treatise of understanding and poetry of sense, of understanding. And Andrew Scott Wilson, no, William Scott Wilson. Let's say that slowly. I like him as a translator. So yes, I have read it. I think everyone should read it. I like drop points for everyday carry and clip points for bigger knives. Oh, I like it. It does make it a little safer to put it away each time. See, we all have our preferences of what is the proper style of knife. This makes life so much fun. MTB, who taught you what you know? Ooh, that part I'll be a smart ass, me. I taught me what I know. I've had numerous wonderful teachers, but I know to shut up and listen and record and trial and question and just, yeah, so me and teachers. Man, rust sucks. Yes, it does. It is the bane to so many of us. Everything here in the Netherlands is close to the sea. I bought an Iron Roman Legionaries and it rusted a bit before I even noticed. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Conservatory uses usually, at least what I've seen, the tung oil. So it's a really nice quality thin oil with rubbing alcohol. So it goes on really thin coats and can seep into all those pores. It might help you out because that tung oil will last. I think it will even outlast a linseed only because it's so much thinner. It won't go so sticky on you. But yeah, rust. Best ninja weapon, fire bombs. Laugh out loud. Come on. There's few stories we do have of ninjas being sent in to burn things down. Yeah, fire bombs. Talk about distraction. I hope you are well, my friend. Jay, I am well. I hope you are well. I'm assuming it's the J that I think it is, but how do I confirm that? Some random person. I love the name. I guess what is true, the draw is very cocky. Wielding the weapon that way with one hand would take more than just immense grip strength. Yeah, it sure would. One hand, yeah, just the trust of that blade. Now, I could make the argument that that bottom half is not that sharp, and just the end part of the no-dachi is quite sharp because you could just use it for receiving. But even so, taking away the chance of just slicing your fingers off, that in itself would be a great practice. But one totally accomplished that 10 pounds, it's a lot, but it's really not. That's a stupid way of stating it, but I think it's possible. Buddha tells us the best weapon is our enemy's mind. Ooh, well said. Yeah, I guess it could be of argument, but yeah, that's the one we want to defeat. Don't want to defeat the weapons in front of them. That's going to be too much blood. Ooh, I like this one from Michael Official. Do you ever poo? Like every day I'm healthy, and it's quite nice. Thanks for the answers. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, Chewy. Thank you for the support, and good luck on those knives. I look forward to seeing. I like the wraparound style ring, but the center through punch is much stronger. And if it's something that you want to throw, I think you'd be much happier with that center punch. So good luck with that, Chewy, and I hope to hear from you. Fantasy and reality are two different things when it comes to martial arts. MTB. That's very true. Yeah, no, that's very true. Honestly, Tori Hanzo's samurai act on Corvette missions may have been the only shinobi that we are similar to what we now think as a ninja. Yeah, and you think those ninjas only lasted? I like that. My vision of the ninja is Ieyasu's ninja that looked after his gardens. That's the vision I like. That just total spies, constantly doing something, but just everywhere. Like everywhere has ears. Information. Adam, I mean, even Fairbairn, the guy who basically invented modern army hand-to-hand, said that the mind is the ultimate weapon, but in the way of trying to avoid tunnel vision and trying to end a fight fast. Yeah. To end a fight fast, isn't that the point of it all? You don't want to, the longer it goes, the more trouble you're in. Hello, Zai. Sammy Bros. Do telekinesis real? I've been trying that for years with a water bottle. I'll keep trying. If I can ever manage it, yeah, I will totally do a live on that. And I will let you know, Sammy Boss. PGL, someone who told me to look it up on YouTube because it's possible. Thank you for that. What's the plan with the new throwing spikes? Sorry, I can't remember the proper name for them. From the video, you seem very happy with them, but wouldn't make them exactly the same next. Right? I'm saying I wouldn't make them exactly the same because I want to make something different. But for what they are, I'm only at a loss on how I want to carry them. I absolutely adore these things because I wanted a weighted thrower to be able to fly, and that does that, and it gives me that center. So I'm thinking of it now that I'm going to treat these more as I'm just going to carry two, that it's not so much meant to be a shuriken, that it just is capable of being a shuriken. And for storage, I think something hidden. One subscriber commented putting in a blade, not a blade, in a brush, which I thought was really cool. Somewhere where it can be hidden. So following what I'm going to call is like the tea room rules, that in a traditional tea room, there's to be no weapons. But a samurai had to always have a weapon. And they were also required to go to a tea room. And it was this, well, two fighting opposing thoughts I think it's really fun because apparently you hide weapons in everyday things. I'm sure there's a more elegant way of saying they worked around it, but I love it's a workaround. Thank you. Now is midnight in India, so good night and bye. It's midnight. You are definitely the latest, so thank you for joining in. That's amazing. What timelines? Would you use shuriken for modern self-defense? Yes, I would use shuriken for modern self-defense. Okay, this needs to be said, but I can't carry shuriken for modern self-defense. But for me, as I can't see one on my desk, a pen is going to give me a very similar idea as this protrusive idea. And a pen, just as equally, I want to create an opening. You don't need to know that it's a pen. I need to make you think that it's something that's dangerous. So the more I can throw it in a way, okay, I have to tell a story to tell another story. Getting ready to work on a fight with my teacher. Not a fight, but it's Randor. You got to control the chaos. And he's standing there, and just in Shizen, and I face off, and he just makes that little posture, and a bunch of pebbles fall out of his hands. It's like, oh shit. And as I come up to defend myself, he just comes in and takes me down. He only had 4 little pebbles in his hand, but that was enough for my mind going, okay, I've got to protect my eyes, and he took the advantage. That was an important lesson that will just always stick with me. Space Ghost, you're awesome. Thanks, man. Here's for making more cool stuff. Let me know how to contact you privately to have your visit our local museum. I will. Can I like that? I can, and I can do that. Oh, support. Just think of the tools we're going to make on this channel. Thank you, everyone. Don Juan. I use oil quenching, tried water once, and it didn't. Nah, I'm in India currently, winter arriving at 1:30 now, and the weather is ever changing depending on seasons. Yeah, water quenching, it's where it's at. My word of advice, keep the magnet, because you just need to get past non-magnetic. And I think what a lot of people make the problem with is they get excited and that dark cherry red becomes orange really quickly, and it's like, yes, that's correct, and I put just too much energy into the blade. So by really focusing, making sure everything's dark first, take all of the light out of your forge, focus on that dark cherry red, just hold that image and keep that magnet, and you might have some better luck. And again, I just got to go back to Space Ghost Supreme. Thank you for your help. That's amazing. We're going to make so many things. James Macy, hi. And you said hi. So hi, James Macy. And Matt T is no problem. Thanks for answering. No problem, Matt T. Is it grippy? Carlos. I'm sure you asked that at a timeline that if I was still doing or talking about what I was talking about, I'd know what you're talking about. Sadly, I have no clue what you're talking about. Sorry, Carlos. Would it be hard making the clothing? I make all my own clothing. Clothing is, I'm not going to say it's really easy, but it's really easy. Specifically, if you come from like a woodworking background, then the material, once you get your material, you wash it in the hottest water you possibly can. And then you dry it in the hottest water you possibly can. And then you dry it. Well, you don't dry it anymore because it's already dried. You hit it with the iron as hot as possible. And all these times you just keep shrinking the fabric. And once you've shrunk the fabric to the right amount and you understand which direction the weave and warp go, just like the grain pattern in wood, it really all comes together. I must say, when I do my video on how you make all of these things, there's going to be much comparison on just woodworking. David wants a gun. For me, it would be a gun. Our souls are ageless. Well said, Matty. Our souls are ageless. And somehow still full of knowledge. Your age is how many rings are inside your arm when it's chopped off. Well, Jay Hurst, if it ever happens, I'll count all those rings and let you know. Can you imagine if I find out you're a plant? You'd die, maybe not ever know, because how many of us get to lose our arm? I hope none of us. Is there, okay, Don Juan, is there something I can use to create a small weapon I can hide in my clothes and get past through metal detectors, which will be practically useful? Oh, it's a smart ass remark, but it's going to be your mind again. Because how can you advise to go through a metal detector in which they're taking away potential weapons? True. But then if you're hiding a potential weapon, you have now become part of the problem. So it is true that you go through a metal detector. One thing you can be sure of, no one has weapons except the people that are able to get weapons through. And that's just kind of a part of the life that we live. We have to be able to represent that and be able to still have the confidence of we need to make it through. Then really it's just rolling the dice to see what our statistics are going to be. Hi from South Africa. Hi, South Africa. You're not as far as India, but you're probably, I don't know what timeline. Hi, Africa. Shinobi no Mono, I'd carry a kusari fundo that I made when I was in Japan. It's perfectly legal and effective, and I always carry a yawari. Nice. Yawari, that's a really interesting point. Yawari is just really a simple piece of wood. Yeah, yawari is just a simple piece of wood. What other simple I imagine most of them are going to be Buddhist related. Shinobi no Mono, that's a whole bunch of inspiration right there. So thank you for that comment. Matt T, haha, static positions. I like static positions. Hold them for 18 seconds with as much intensity as you can bear. Holmes family. Favorite ninja weapon? It's always the short sword. A 26, but specifically a slightly curved short sword. There's just something so elegant about that tool. Standard handle, 11-inch handle. I don't know. I had one. I had the perfect one. And I sold it. When you need rent, you need rent. I need a teacher. What's a good instructions book? Christopher Robin. Yeah, we all need teachers. What book would you start to learn? The books can guide you. But it's more, I guess the best way I could say it is what video would get you first started to best understand what stances are important. I am working on a video in which I will be talking about like my favorite book list, and I will work on a section that is exactly that. But at the moment, I couldn't tell you which book I could say is best for like the beginner. None of us are normal. We're all exquisite. I could be one of those stereotypical fat guys, Willie Cannibal in a movie games. But you could still be exquisite, man. It's a lifestyle. What new stuff are you working on? I'm the Kanabo, but that's not new. That's one I've been talking about for some time now. The newest one, which is a mixture, and this is just still in my brain yet. I'm not too sure exactly how it works. So when it counts as the newest one, it definitely means it because this is stuck to the wall. I want to mix these, a simple hand claw, but it stays in the hand, and somehow pretending that these are claws, that it can clip on, it can connect. So whatever is worn in the hand, you could do daily functions for the most part, still having a piece of steel in the hand with the ability to click, something kind of elegant. That's as far as I've gone, something kind of elegant. The caltrops, could you show how to wrap it up and how to carry it? Ooh. Do you mean the nine tails? Or do you mean that, because I don't act, the caltrops, I still haven't come up with a proper method to carry them. I keep coming up with pouches, but my comment is always, if someone kicks or I fall, no matter how much leather, it's going through me. Gonna leave now, Ethan. Not sorry to hear that. You have a life, and I hope you enjoy your day. Now that I have a busy day, you have a busy day? I guess it's different timelines. I'd like to pose one last question before I go. What martial art would you suggest for youth? Myself took boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you. For youth. Okay, specifically, if it's for youth, I want nothing that is going to impact the bones and nothing that is going to twist the bones. That they're growing. It's a child, every morning they wake up, they're of different proportions. Their cells are dividing on such a level that the strikes of striking, not good for the joints. But if they're just going through the motions, I can be comfortable with that. I think like tumbling, gymnastics, something that works the whole body, but not specifically a martial arts. The joints are they're just so, development issues need to happen first. Grow strong children. Red Hood, hello. I don't think you need certification to be anything as long as you do it properly and safely. I think building bridges, we're going to have certification, but for the most part, I'm with you. We've got just strong proficiency and like that self-awareness of like, I'm doing this correctly, and we can test these things. And we can be held accountable to our actions. Shinobi no Mono, nice. Right back at you. Suridistic. I just whisper it when I'm not too sure how to enunciate those words. I just whisper it like that's me saying it correctly. Do you take orders or do you only make things for yourself? Love your work, by the way. Thank you, Nazum. Currently, I am only making things for the channel. That I'm being really selfish and kind of discovering a new... Really, I'm just trying things I've never done before. The Kanabo currently has 2 areas I've not done. And next, I would like to start working on doing some armor things. So I would like to open up the shop, but currently that's just not happening. We'll come back to it in 2026. Pipe bombs. No, I don't like pipe bombs. Bishop. I like it. Shuriken Zone. Oh, I hope this nail bed wasn't damaged badly enough to make the nail grow funny in the future. I had my left pinky nail smashed with a bokuto and 20 years ago, and it has never been the same since. It's like a tattoo of sense, isn't it? That I would be fine if it grows in weird. Like, come on, Shuriken Zone, check out this. Like, that's all. I don't even know if that's going to be much of a scar left. But that was a dumb mistake that I did, and I get to hold on to that for the rest of my life. So if it grows in funky, I see what you're saying, but I'd be fine with it. $7.95. Thank you. I'm just going to call you $7.95. So down, up. I take at least 3. Do you? 3 a day? Wow. You consume much more food than I do. Fireball Jutsu. I made, this is on one of my videos, I think, for these shuko. And it was little wires, and I made little cotton balls that were about 1 inch, and I would soak them in kerosene so I could pretend I had fireballs at night. It was a great way of walking around. It's like my own personal candle. How long do you do your ninja thing? Love much from Germany. How long do you do? Like, how long have I been practicing all this? I think that's the question. I'm going to say since I was 7. I made my first wooden sword when I was 7, and I've been obsessed with this world ever since. I've never really gone away from it, and it seemed everything I've kind of practiced over the years kind of builds up to me being able to do all of this now. It's just kind of really fun chaos. Thank you, Germany, and all the best to Germany. Greetings from the north. Hello, the north. I wonder if it's my hemisphere. It is my hemisphere. I'm thinking that's Finland. I don't know flags either. Probably have a pouch to hold the spikes. Like you do, or I need to make one. I think I'm starting to think wood. So many questions. Leg pouch or something on the back. Something on the back, and it had like maybe a piece of steel where it just go bypass it entirely. I put a little steel 16th inch, so if something ever does happen, it's always just going to go through the porch. I like that idea. Why do we keep saying porch? PGL, Griff, they are bullshit again. Thank you. Could you make a forearm strap that straps your arms and acts as a sheath for them? Would almost make a faux arm bracer. It would totally make an arm bracer. I have a video that seemed to be like the #1. Make them for the forearm and for the shin. Apparently that's my shin right now. That's great. As long as there's enough compartments that go all the way around, technically you could have different size shuriken in them, which means, yeah, they would work totally as an armor of sorts until if you had to use them all up. They would be totally doable. I pause at this moment because there's going to be something as a stopper, but if I said steel earlier, not that I'd want to dent them, but thered have to be something just to make sure that they can't pop through. Can you show us the Wolverine claws on the table behind you? Even a pencil. Yeah, pencil's the most dangerous. I'll gladly show you these Wolverine claws because they're kind of my favorite thing right now. Though I have many favorite things. Now this is spring steel. And the next step is to get a Purple Heart handle put in here and get that all, because there's a lot of space for my hand and I want it quite thin, but it also has to have that same comic book kind of feel. So thank you. I always want to show these off. What do you think of nunchaku? Well, something, nothing. Again, Canada, we're not allowed gravity-driven tools, but put that aside, I'm not a big fan of the flexible tools because they like to attack me more often than I feel they should. Nunchaku for exercise, I think they're great. For fighting, just not my style. I like the fact that they can get behind the attacks. I think that's interesting. Add it to steel, adding it to a flail becomes more and more interesting. But just singular, I look at it more as just exercise. For my personality, I've seen some wonderful practitioners from the nunchaku that can bring them to life as a true weapon. Blunt force trauma, really, just getting a few on the wrists. How are you gonna hold a sword? It is cool. I'm not too sure what you're talking about, but I'll just agree because you sound like someone that knows what they're talking about. Swollen Salad, hello. Valentino's Arts, good evening to you. Good afternoon to me. You're in India? I'm not in India. Are you in India? What's your favorite shinobi tool or weapon to play with? Oh, to play with. See, now that's, I think that's different than just favorite tool, because that's the katana. To actually play with, I'm going claws. I think almost every time claws, because they make my little heart sing. Okay, specifically the Wolverine claws, but that's just because I read all the comic books. That these claws, there's just something about the lines, the introduction, to play, that's learning. That's my tool. Adam, talking about hiding and storing weapons, I always enjoyed the idea of traveling merchants that turned out to be some hidden warrior trying to sneak into a city while keeping a cover. Yeah, like the cabbage merchant from Avatar, but instead of cabbages, like everything is just weaponized. That's a great idea, because I do like the idea of you had the four professions to choose from. You could be a monk, you could be a samurai, you could be a farmer, you could be a merchant. That idea of the merchant, then you're probably, of course, always gaining intelligence, but that kind of hidden, everything has a secret pocket. There's always something just underneath the surface. That makes for a great story. I'm taking your thunder, but I agree with you. David Simon, I don't know if you are interested in action movies. Have you ever considered making a film on applying ninjutsu? I'm talking like what you know in ninjutsu versus what you see in typical action flick. Oh, fun. Oh, that'd be fun, because you think the majority of like ninja that we see in modern, it's always taekwondo. It's taekwondo, and you get to see everything that's going on. And that ninja stuff is usually the hidden stuff, that little actions. No, I'd not thought about that, but now that you mention it, I am thinking about that, and that could be a really fun idea, to take an action sequence that happens, of course, theatrical, and I get what they're doing, they marvels on the screen. But then just say, okay, well, in that same situation, from a historical point of view with this tools, how would I get to that same answer? Fun idea. I'm gonna say yes. Valentino Arts High with 3 eyes. Ninja Toe, real or Hollywood design? Oh, Ninja Toe, real. Hollywood sure took advantage of it, and they put it everywhere. But the straight sword was one of the first swords. We've got lots of documentation of that style of blade. Where is it? It's on this side. As for how common the straightness of it, more Edo period, like the newer period, I think the more common of a ninja toe with that slight curve being shorter for the easiest point of just describing it, that after a certain length, it's a sword, but under that certain length, civilians were able to carry it. So ninja toe, short sword, 100%, that was the real thing. When it comes to your smithing, have you come upon any interesting workarounds or adaptations that you personally have a preference or compared to with what the normal process calls for? Okay, 155555, great question. And I built a guillotine. A guillotine is a little device that holds two metal plates. One acts as an anvil, one acts as the striker to make really precise and accurate strikes. I use it for like 4 minutes and despise the whole thing. I like to do everything just by hand. There's something accurate in the clumsiness. So as for workaround, it's always the opposite for me. If there's an easier way of doing it, I probably do it the more difficult way. And that's not because there's the Bushido idea that we're supposed to take the harder path. No, in this instance, it's more, I just like to do things difficult. Not too sure why, but it works for me. Kusuri Fundo, the chain weapon in general, are illegal to carry in Canada, for your information. Yes, if it ever has the end weights on them, not illegal, it's prohibited. What the difference is, But I like to put it, if you're causing shit or you look like you're going to, yeah, everything's technically a weapon. Just be appropriate. But it's also good for all of us to know. Tintendo, Brandon Dun, Kuji In, like the finger knots, yeah, they're pretty great. Planning a whole video on those, guided fully with meditation. What about comma in your line? What about comma in your line? Like comma? Like I keep this as totally, I was gonna say pedestrian, but that's not the word, peasant-based, as this is a farming scythe. I want to make a kusurigama that has all the detailings, but yes. As for kata though, I have no kata that actually employ or show how to use this tool. Mind you, this tool isn't too complicated to add into the practice. 9 directions, 9 directions. Oh, they're great. What about, will you be filming the forge of the spikes? Be filming the forging of the spikes. Actually, I've already filmed the forging of the spikes, and that is on YouTube. You should be able to find that video under a title, I'm sure. But if you check my channel, it's there. I'm not too sure what it's called. Robari Shuriken. I think it's called Robari Shuriken. I think I would know what's going on. David, I was a Ninja Turtle fan when I was young. I never had a favorite Ninja Turtle. I was a Shredder favorite. Would you ever design a Shredder outfit that fits the use of all your ninja techniques? Yeah, so as I'm standing here, I'm not going to get the same training I got today. So I put my weights on, and my weights are Shredder armor. Now, I'm not a big fan of this one, but I do like how heavy they are. So I wear them for that. So to answer your question in the most dramatic way I possibly can, hell yes. I want a full Shredder garb that has the do, has the hidate, has every piece of like the functional historic version, with a few caveats. I want to upgrade the helmet and make it definitely my own, but full homage for that movement, because there's something so powerful to think of the kama. You're always inviting in, and as the Shredder, that if you go in on that target, you're already in trouble. Just to receive an attack, it'd be amazing. So yes, I will do full videos and a full armor build on that subject, and awesome. But you never had your own favorite Ninja Turtle. But you like the Shredder, so I'm guessing the Shredder was your favorite. I get you. How do you carry nunchaku? I guess any way you want. There's no sharp edges on them. I like to think everything is concealed, but I just stick them in my belt. Yes, the Nine Tails. Can you please show the katana? I will show the katana. Yes, I can. I can talk and... So that is, it's just a simple, it's not the Wind and Thunder. This is the Tsunami. What is this one? I don't remember what this one's called anymore. Tsunami? I think it's the Tsunami. Okay, Nine Tails. So this I would consider as its carrying form. 449. I wouldn't want to do too many strikes with it, but with one pull, it drops out, and if you can keep up to it, and it opens up into the Nine Tails. And as for the Nine Tails, this is just fun. They're just wrapped around in a loop. And then afterwards, I use a wax string to bind them together. And then to actually make them back into a handle, I like to stab myself a few times because they're sharp. And if each time I just grab the rope section, leaving the rest just to hang naturally. This is also really kind of important if you want it to open up cleanly. And this is where it just becomes painful. You start at the top, and just as you work down, it will tighten. I like this. This is the braided cord. I find the twist cord has a different wrapping mechanism. It doesn't just go as well as, it doesn't go as cleanly. And they're back up together again. I was going to change the name from Nine Tails, but it just works. Shinobi Nomono, your little Kiritsuki blade is a perfect size for protection, isn't it? It's just, I've lost it. It's just great. And it's just so small. And it's just so crazy sharp. It's also my leather knife, so thank you. Buji grape. Lace and chop as a form of armor detached. Place on the belt with the metal holders and have a detachable lace. Oh, fun. That's a fun idea. We're getting lots of hearts. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone's so great here. Hooray, thanks for the answer. Have a fantastic day. Ethan, you have a great day too. I'm glad that answer worked for you, but you probably already left at this point because you asked your question a while ago. Could you make a straight razor? I could make a straight razor. Yeah, I could. I paused. To me, a straight razor's got a wonderful hollow ground, and I know the Japanese also had a straight razor, but I don't know what ground that was. So yes, I will put that on the list to make that because there's a question I have no answer to. Do you delve into ninja herbal medicine and remedies, kusuri? I do not. I guess I'm biased. Some things about the future I really enjoyed, and our understanding of nutrition is just fabulous today. And as I'm not a big fan of having to like eat and do normal human things, I like the idea of following just a normal, very balanced diet to get all the energy that I need. I think it's a wonderful history. I just don't find it as relevant to what I want to do these days. Got off subject. My favorite is historical shinobi is Hattori Hanzo. Ooh, I like that. That's a good history of historical ninjas. That is a great ninja to enjoy. Look, you're live. Did I not be live for a moment? Seth Thomas? I have a Seth. No, it's a Seth Baxter. Thank you for your comment. Oh, it's nice to have that reinforcement. Hello from Texas, Neo 2020. That's awesome. Thank you, Texas. It's gotta be warm down there for you right now. I want to be like you when I grow up. I'm 35. Haha, age means nothing. And yeah, don't grow up. That's the first thing, and you'll be just like me. But be you, and then you'll just be the perfect. There's another YouTuber that does Robin Hood, bow and arrow, The Hooded Man. You guys could do an awesome collaboration video. The Hooded Man, great name. That'd be fun. I wonder what kind of collab we'd do. I'd want to make arrowheads or something. Something flammable. Space Ghost, what are you doing back again, Space Ghost? I thought you had to leave. But just the same, thank you. I can't kick the cup. What store website makes the best swords? I really want something cool. What store website makes the best swords? That's a personal thing. I got nothing for you. The last time I bought a sword was, I think, like 20 years ago. I have no clue. Useless to you on this one. Which Ninja Turtle had the best weapon for defense, firearms defense aside? Yeah, we'll take firearms away. I like that. Best weapon for defense? See, I would want to go directly to Leonardo. Dual katana, you've got that distance, you've got two sharp edges, but no. And then I would say like Donnie, you've got the staff, you've got that at a distance, you've only got blunt force trauma, you've got some parrying. Definitely not Mikey, because two nunchaku, you're always causing damage with that. Sai, I think Sai can control multiple distances. It is blunt force trauma, but is quite controlled because it's steel. You don't have to use it at full strength, like a nunchaku would have to be used. So I would go for best defense, like all around great tool. I'm biased here, but sai, definitely sai. Ooh, Udkai Saksen. Hello, Sensei. Oh, that's very kind of you. Could you speak to the philosophical end of why you practice? Oh, the philosophical end. I'm going to use that end. Is it because I'm going to die and I don't really care? No, but that's also what's going to happen. I think that's just an interesting side note of practicing the martial arts. You have to question your mortality, that we're all kind of feeble creatures in the greater sense of things. But that's not what got me into it. It definitely started with being able to win without fighting. The statement from me, little 7-year-old, was a sword is stronger left in its sheath than one that's been removed. I think that's more empowering, that I get to look at the philosophical questions as I practice, but I just keep moving forward. I don't think I have a means that powers me to move forward. I just am a simpleton. I just keep on going. Shuriken Zone, yeah, scars are great. Permanent reminders. I've been reminded of how important using good techniques when you do noto is. Interesting. 2 swords. What happened? Oh, noto, not ito. Oh, it still could mean just the same. Yeah, that's, and they're real. They're 100%, and they're filled with emotion. Are universities difficult in Canada? Raise a. Universities, I guess it depends on what you find difficult. I loved my time at U of T. The professors there were super confident. So when you had whatever information you were given the night before that you're supposed to read to come to class, there wasn't that, which I found, at least in some of the colleges, where you just read everything through. It was, no, you can have a discussion of what you've read and what questions and what kind of person do you want to become is where I want to go with that. But no, I'm biased. I think the universities are great. But I'm sure all universities can be great and or crap. I really want a nice katana. Who sells great stuff? I can't kick the comp. You're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to do a lot of research. I don't know who makes them. I don't know what would be nice anymore. The most useful use of a nunchaku and that style of weapon is flails. Weapons that were meant to get around shields, but the gain shields weren't really popular in Japan to my understanding. No, they weren't. There's very little knowledge we have of shields. These big rectangles definitely use the Sengoku Jidai, but other than a few scrolls, you don't see it. I kind of go to a 3-sectional staff. Nunchaku are great, but there's something very magical about a 3-sectional staff. Now that's definitely getting around shields, but not even necessarily a shield. But if you use a sword as a shield, it's still getting around and you're getting to keep your distance. What is your background, Bujinkan or Genbukan? I come from the Bujinkan, though I did happily train with the Genbukan guys for a while. My group really liked hitting. So very similar. But of course, within the similarities, it's so very different. Well, that doesn't explain anything, but my background is the Bujinkan. Specifically though, Kotoru and Shinden Fudoru, those are my favorites. Chewy, are you still here, Chewy? I thought you left. Can you show all the ring knives? One of the point of your fingers goes through the ring. I see some of your background, but never good shots of them. Okay, these are all the rings. Now this one isn't a knife per se, but it's a hook. So that is a flattened ring. I'll give you a background you can actually see. Flattened ring. The one I showed earlier, which is the center punched and worked out to a round. Then there's just the drawn out section that's gone round at the end, and there's just butt end joint. And then just another style of center punch and drawing. If you want to see anything else, just, oh, this is also a center punch. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. Yeah, there it is. Can you see? There's a tiny little point there. This one also was bent and curved into shape. Joy, hello to India. Nice of you to join us. Patolog, hello. GWYN, I thought everyone had left already. Hello again. Have you ever had an interest in making a war? Yeah, 100%. Maybe a Tessin in particular, where there are ones that could be used as a club. It just looked like a harmless fan. I want to make a Tessin. I want to make just a regular fan. Get that understood, the opening and the folding of the paper. Next, I want, maybe not in this order, there's a Tessin that the headpiece was one solid and you could pull out the handle and that would be a dagger. So you'd still have the paper on the outside. And another was a knife section that was entirely hidden in it. But instead of using paper as faux paper, that's not right. They actually carved the wood. So yeah, I've given it a lot of thought and I totally would like to do it. I think I would like the dagger version first though. I like the idea that it's definitely paper and that handle is all that actually holds the metal. But then of course the handle has to also have that same mimicry. The armchair cornerman. Is there someone in the UK you might recommend? I'd love some of these. No, I don't know anyone in the UK. I don't travel much. And I don't know many people. Aloha, how are you doing, man? Silver Surfer. I'm doing great. I'm talking about weaponry with really beautiful people. How are you? Shredder outfit would look awesome. Tara Barker. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be a long build because there's gonna be so many blades involved in that build. It'll be so worth it. So thank you. I hope everyone watches it on YouTube and goes, wow. No, I don't really hope that. You know what I mean. Are you a real ninja? Nope. I'm not real at anything. Where do you get those kaihan I just pointed? Or did you make them yourself? Yeah. I make everything. I didn't make the sword and I didn't make this knife. Everything else I've made. Ralph is obviously the best turtle. Silver Surfer. Okay. We all have our choices of who are the best turtles. We're all equal here. It's Leonardo. Or is it Mike? They're all the best. See, look, I'm touching my ear. I'm giving a tell. I love them all. Are you Batman? Geez, if I was Batman and had that kind of money, I would actually be doing something for this world. So no. Oh, but the toys. Could you imagine that kind of wealth to drive this kind of obsession of building? That would be a really fun character arc. Hello, I'm in the Egypt, and oh, nice katana. From Egypt. I am definitely getting a mat board with pins to put up here somewhere to represent everyone. It's just too cool. Space Ghost. What's your thoughts on AI, robots, and the crossover to ninjutsu and ESP and the ninja mindset? Danger of AI versus human. I feel that human has a soul, where a machine without a soul is... okay, so one, AI has to be trained off of humans. And it's once they start training off themselves that I think we're going to see some real danger. Though I think a big caveat here is, as more and more people are advertising that there's robots going to be for sale, they're very slow. And a part of me, can you imagine? Get a robot, you can train it in ninjutsu, you can arm it with all of these swords, and then you can say, yeah, attack me. We can go and we can understand that practice. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. The point of using AI for our daily work, for our understanding, I like the idea of having things benefit us, but I don't like the things taking over for us. I think there's going to be a very fine line, but like everything on this wall can be terrifying if used for the wrong reasons. The life-giving sword and the death-dealing sword. It's the same sword. It's how are you going to use it? Yahoo Mail, what kind of ingredients would you recommend in ninja eggs? So it's the ninja art, so it's perseverance. So it's going to say, what do you have around you? What can you access at this moment? Just taking through like a little bit of a mind idea that if the ninja of Iga were being attacked, this little mountain region, and these groups are coming in, you're going to have to act quite quickly. So for me, I have an abundance of sand. I have an abundance of charcoal. I have an abundance of metal scale. I can have pepper. I can have a bunch of items to put into this. Something that could make your eyes water. Something that's just make your eyes water. Just engage the eyes to give you something to think about. Can you show me Rasengan or Mangenkyo Sharingan? I wish I could. But if I get there, 100%, I will totally share that online. If I can do Sharingan and my eye pops over and I can suddenly copy all Taijutsu, it'd be amazing. You just sit down at a martial arts event and just bring out that power and just observe all of those strengths. It's getting me off topic all around. If you were to make things for others, what changes would you make to your process, mental? Oh, I guess that's the problem. When I make things for others, it's the same. Technically, they're nicer than the ones that I make for myself. It's about the time that's put in. I don't want to change anything. It's about that process. For me, the making is the kata. That is my practice, how I hold the hammer, what I think about when I light the charcoal. That is what makes these items. That I could just grind it away and cut it and do things that I don't do, but then it's not my item anymore. I feel I'd be cheating the system. When did you decide to start streaming the Shadow King? Ooh. Like more constantly? I don't know if I've even made the decision yet. I should stream more often, but it's still the should. But I think what the question really is, like 2 years ago, I had an interesting encounter and I thought, yeah, there's no reason I can't do this. Let's start. And like all things, if you don't start, you're never going to know where you're going to end up. I just joined. What happened? Cole Hibbard. We're like 2 hour mark. A lot has happened. This whole live was going to be cleaning the back wall. Nope, I haven't done a thing yet. So I guess in essence, you haven't missed a thing. Buggy, grape. Oh, it is grape. Thank you for the heart. Show Shuriken. Someone loves Shuriken. Hey, I just want to say, as a blacksmith, I really look up to you in your work, and other blacksmiths like Black Bear Forge. Thank you for posting such great videos. It's nice to have that many blacksmiths out there. You did some nice work, and thank you for that. And you're a blacksmith. Now we are going to work towards a Discord so we can all kind of share these images and what we're going through. And it's nice that we can all kind of click on this platform and learn something new. A Japanese kamisori has a chiseled grind, I think. I like the chiseled grind. It does make it quicker to polish, but there's something for cutting leather, chisel edge, for carving, chiseled edge. What's the best strategy for a tanto? Pardon me. What's the best strat? The Shadow King. Now, a tanto in modern vernacular could just mean a knife, or you mean a tanto as in a Japanese small knife. I'm going to say you mean this one. And specifically is this, I'm going to call it kisaki, because for a tanto, it's all just one edge. There's no yokote. There's no line that states the ending process. So when it coming to knives, a tanto, I would like to think that whole edge, that whole blade is alive. That's the section that you give energy to, which I feel kind of needs to explain from Kenjutsu, but that wasn't the question. Show smoke bomb would be fun, just to pop and disappear, but it makes a lot of mess, and I don't like dusting, so I apologize. Hey, I wonder if you keep these weapons as something to keep, or would you actually use it? Ooh, no. Hey, I wonder if you keep these weapons as something to keep, or would you actually use it one day? Just making sure I said that correctly. How do I word this? I like the practice. I like the understanding of what a horrid way this would have been as a way of life, to have had to attack other human beings. I feel that's something that we need never return to. And it's that observing the past so we can move to the future. No, I never want to use any one of these. I want to know how horrible they are, how they would work, and how I could employ them. And if I do my job well, I'll never actually have to use any of them. Oh, more hiragana and katakana. Nope, I'm sorry. I see toe. That's the only one that I recognize. Oh, Reese, my mom said I'm adopted. So a lot worse things that could be. All right, buddy. PGL. Great live stream. Thank you. I'm off to work. The chaos of the kitchen calls. Looking forward to this Discord server and enjoy the rest of your eating. Same to all other watching. Oh, you're amazing. The Discord was awesome. And have fun in the kitchen. Hope your knives are excellently sharp. Where are you from, buddy? Boss, I am... Where am I from? I guess Canada? Originally Ontario. Currently I reside in Nova Scotia. Right outside the middle of nowhere. It's gorgeous. Orlando. Hello, Orlando. It's probably much warmer there. I love your channel. Thank you, Ben. I've not seen your channel, but I'm getting better with compliments. Broke. You love that? That works for you? Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Hi from Japan. Hello, Japan. You were the furthest away before starting to come back again so far. So thank you for visiting. Whoa, here's a name. That's a lot of consonants. How did you get in love with the Japanese culture, especially ninjas? Isn't that weird that you are white? Why don't you do Viking or Crusade things? Because the Vikings and the Crusaders did not offer me the same path to enlightenment. Yeah, I guess the first question is, why does it have to be based solely on the color of my skin? I guess I like to look at it's just one damn planet. And I know there's borders everywhere, but I don't like to look at the borders everywhere. And it's just one damn planet. And it's filled with humans. And all of these humans over like the past 40,000 years have done some incredible things. And I can learn from all of those different places. And I have spent some time focusing on the Vikings. But the Japanese culture, the Japanese aesthetic, the way of the ninja, I found it offered such a philosophical point that I couldn't help move forward within that study. I don't know if that answers your question, but it is the question, how much revolves around an understanding of your own mind, your own practice, and your way. I think it's phenomenal. And I guess also, since it's complete chaos, it's just somehow that was put in front of me as a child. What lessons that world showed me and how it affected my upbringing. Like, how do you explain chaos? A lot of Europeans like Asian culture because they are far away, so they are mysterious, interesting, and new. Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's the distance that ever found intriguing upon it. It was simple, I guess, one simple aspect. If I were to think of the ninja are separated from the majority of the world. They have to be self-reliant, self-sufficient. I find that alone an incredibly interesting way upon life. That if I have to make my own way, my own questions, my own abilities, I didn't know how to do any of this nonsense. I've had to ask questions and I've had to practice. I've had to rely on my own intelligence. I think that alone of ninjutsu, of the ninja, that's what inspires me. Anybody asking about Katana Dragon King are really good quality. When I last saw Dragon King, they were of nice quality. Maybe someone else in here knows more. Also, Henwei used to be really nice, but I don't know what they're like anymore. I have so much to learn. Frank Rose, hello. Shuriken Zone, Noto is an act of returning the sword. You cut yourself on returning the sword. Koiguchi covered hard way. Yeah, you've got to, I feel the need to share. Sitting in the dojo after class, we're just talking away and some of us were cleaning our swords. And the one of us that were cleaning our swords just suddenly went really quiet, stood up and ran out of the room. They didn't run, but they sure moved fast. And they too learned a very similar lesson to you, Shuriken Zone. These things are sharp. Muscle Meals, hello. C'est là, bonjour. Too many consonants, hello, but love you just the same. No, 61, hello. The Shadow King, I can handle that. Chewy. See, when it comes to plays, I love the Asian so much more, but I have made myself a warhammer from the ball peen, and I have so much happy with it. Also, I had left, just came back. Oh, so you did come back. Yeah. See, here's the... Okay, so we talk about different words. So the German Zweihänder, the flaming blades specifically with the, I don't even know what they're called. That is on the list. And we want to talk about just inspiration of culture, the like Maximilian style, that armor that just click together more like a biomechanical machine. Just the inspiration alone of how those items would connect and click together. So much, so much. And the kamisori comes in many diversions. The seiza, length of the blade, the area. Wow. That's a lot of information. Thank you. XD, retracted. I feel like you're a special operative now and you put your keywords in, but you had to get rid of them because the message has already been sent. How do I be like you? You're awesome. Caveman, just be like you. That's all you have to be. But thank you for... I'm not great with compliments yet. No. Kick ass. Love you and respect from Greece. Hello from Greece. Hello to Greece. Being in the martial arts for more than 15 years, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Krav Maga. I love your content. Thank you. That's awesome. That's quite the plethora of martial arts that you're coming back. I'm glad. Of course, all of our martial arts, we can all see it because it's all the same. We just give it different names. So, hello, Greece. I hope the weather's wonderful. Chewy. So, which weapon would win in a fight? We're already in, but hypothetically, warhammer, saber, flail, or something like a spear or glaive. Also, just ADHD thought. Have you ever made thought of making a naginata? Yes, I want to make a Bizan toe first, which is like a naginata, but it's more like a Quan Dao, but that's not the top of the question. We're going to say that like we have similar fighting stances to go for a warhammer, a saber, a flail, or a spear. I say close range, no armor, nighttime, equal fighters. I'm going for the spear or the saber. Yeah, spear the saber. Definitely the spear has some high, but if it gets past saber. Warhammer is great, but I'm sticking with that. Oh, I'm so biased. Rob, the situation depends on which you need to train various situations before it happens. Do you have some nunchaku? Jordan. And hello, no, I don't. Sadly, they're prohibited where I am. They're great tools, though. I should get a set of foam ones. Razel, Redgrave. Redgrave. I can't read this. Well, I can read it, but none of it's going to make sense to anybody. Hello, Dylan Brooks, Dearborn, Michigan, checking in. Hello, Dearborn, Michigan. We are so getting a map. I'd be willing to create your server and hand it over to you, by the way. Thank you, Chuck. Willie. Yeah, I'm going to need some help putting this Discord server together, and probably I'm going to need more than anything, just questions and help getting questions answered. They love making it about race, man. It's one way that we can distinguish between, but I like that, at least for the most part, we all understand we're just a bunch of people. Maine checking, in Maine, you're just like my next door neighbor, Nova Scotia. GWYN, I love the old smithing trick of starting the fire by hammering the nail until it glows and lighting the paper off. It's fantastic to show the trick, but I've always found it very cliche or cynical. Cynical. I just fill in words for myself. Should practice that one. There's something about taking that raw iron and just smashing it through to light that fire. That's something to truly be connected. I so live in the modern world, and I just practicing that history. Start from the nail you made in the last. Okay, I'll do that. I'm going to do a video on properly, traditionally lighting a forge. Brimstone agrees. You two are going, oh, people are great. Also excited at the prospect of a Discord to share, inspire each other, and hold each other accountable. Yeah, inspire and to keep going, that perseverance to push on. And that would be just great because we can all just gather and share pictures and throw in ideas, and especially when we come to a question or just that tipping point of which way do we want to go. This of having this channel has given me so many opportunities to learn and practice new skills. Thank you. Love the content, man. Thank you, Orion. Opinions on Yi Sun Sin. Yi Sun Sin. I wish I knew who or what that potentially is. It's very cool and a great show of how people live, adapt to their jobs in life. Press pulse, Central Asia was the same as Japanese. That's true. So many have had to live in self-reliant ways. Depending, I guess it just depends on where that information comes from and who had it, and then who inspires us. So that you made the choice the way of the warrior. So what made you choose the way of the warrior? I enjoy that I've already like paused and now I'm like wanting to repeat the question again. Have I chosen the way of the warrior? I don't engage in warfare. I practice a martial art and I make these items. I don't know. That's one that I haven't even had an answer yet to. Let me ponder upon that one. Kamisori, Japanese straight razor, are hollow ground blades. Thank you, Shinobi Numono. So they would have, okay, so they've manicured their whetstones to get that angle. Haha. Oh, this is great. What resources? I've once read that many weapons based on or had been evolved from actual working tools. Can you confirm or share your point of view experiences? I think the main one we can go to is the kama, which was definitely an evolution of the fighting tools that it's moved through. But actually having, so do we want to move that it's, this tool was forged specifically from a piece of farm tool. So we can have farm tools that we just used the metal to become something new, or something that was originally a farming tool, just a simple kunai, a digging tool, evolved into something much more that became sharpened, became throwable, became something that you used for hand to hand. So we do see it. I think we see it more often because of peasants being attacked. When farm life is being questioned, you look to what's around you. Again, what do I have access to? What can I make use of? Have you seen the video on his gas-powered fire knife? Writing that one down. Gas-powered fight? No, I've not seen his gas-powered fighting knife, but I will be looking it up. Because who doesn't want a gas-powered flaming knife? Thank you, Roger, too. Explore the fun in real-life live streaming. Hi. Shomi Namono. Nunchaku answering people. Amazing. Harris's. I've really enjoyed your content, and I don't know if you answered this, but what got you interested in blacksmithing and studying the ninja? I find it fascinating. You've been on quite the journey. Thank you. Yeah, and it's just still kind of begun. The blacksmithing was only because no, that's bull. I started with the same vise I have right down there when I was 13 years old and a propane gas torch. And I would tighten the vise up really tight. And with hammers, I could make pointed bits of steel. So I've been kind of blacksmithing for a long time, but it really wasn't until in the dojo and being told that we were training with the idea of these, that it's like, okay, no, I need to make this. I need to learn these ways. And it's just been more questioning and more learning ever since, and just being able to keep adding to the skill. And I think it's just snowballed. I just don't want to stop now. Jordan, thank you. I love that you can forge swords, but nunchaku are prohibited. Yeah, kind of funny, eh, Brimstone? That I can make all of these terrible things, but no, 2 sticks with a rope. Haha, stay away from me. Chewy. So I love Japanese metalworking, but is ancient Japanese culture not somewhat scary? Like I'm thinking of seppuku and other just really intimidating. Yeah, I think we can go to like across the world of different intimidating cultures, but yes, it is definitely. In Germany, it's the Grimm fairy tales. Now we could say some of those stories are quite dark, though the fairy tales from Japan also have some really great lessons, but definitely speaking of their culture. What also makes them stand out that we don't see this often in human societies, but there's that island effect. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but I'm paraphrasing, because Japan falls under that, but so did the Mayan culture. just because they were cut off from the rest of the world. Mind you, they weren't an island. And we find some really intense practices in any culture that has really strong borders. Let me know the best way to talk to you outside of this chat. I got you. Thanks, Shock Willie. What is the best way to talk to me? Usually this is the place I talk to everybody. So just email me. Yeah, email me. Do you do this for a living? What is your profession? Harry, oh, yeah. Almost went for that one. No, I don't know if this is what I do. This is all I do. This is what I do. This is what I've always done. So yes. Is heart high? It would be sad to see the Discord server die fast or become really low quality because it's a great idea, though many who are interested in history and making things are often toxic and gatekeeping. Interesting. Well, I guess we will make on our Discord mission statement that we will not be toxic and we will not gatekeep. Definitely not toxic. Those people should not be put up with and you spend no time with them. But for gatekeeping, specifically online, we see a lot of that nonsense and I don't like it. I want to share information, so we'll make that a mission statement. Oh, I love this one. Oh shit, you're that ninja guy. I should get that on a t-shirt. Comma is best, Shock Willie. Yeah, we all have what we go to. And no, thoughts on a Guillaume saber? I'm gonna need more words. I don't know what that saber is. As it's a saber, I'm probably gonna love it because that sounds like a long piece of steel that's very sharp. So I'm gonna be biased. Respect for reading each comment. Thank you. Again, I'm not spelling your full name. Noah, hello. Guns for gifted. Bushido is conquering the one within to create the way of the warrior. Just fighting other people is not Bushido. Beautifully said. Then yes, if that is the depiction of Bushido, hi, I would take on the warrior philosophy because that is the one that I am to defeat. Jay's back. FYI, the guy whom owns Dragon King used to be a partner of Hanwei and now has his own company. Very nice swords for the most budgets. Interesting. Hanwei used to have some really amazing swords. Thank you for that information, Jay. Is that a special water you are drinking, buddy? Yes, that is very special water. This is Acadian water, which is the best tasting water. Brimstone. I remember when you forged those climbing claws, right? Oh, it's a little bit of nostalgia. That's really cool. I was looking at your videos and they go back quite a while. They do. They go back to the days in the woods where I was training against that wonderful tree. It had died so many years ago, but it worked so well for my shuriken training. It's going to be quite an adventure. Answer. A warrior is simply one of discipline and a hunter of personal power, the exact opposite of a warlord whose aim is to control and manipulate power and people. That's what makes you one. That's nicely worded. You're amazing. 9. From B9, thank you. Chewy. So I learned that the ball peen is a kind of like a European dog nose. Like it's weighted on one side, it just has the peen on the other side, but it still weights similarly. Do you use a dog nose? Depending on what I'm forging, yeah, I use it's heavy on one side. I use 2 Japanese hammers, but then I have a bunch of ball peen hammers and then a bunch of other just random hammers, some of which I've made, others I've just shaped to effect. It really depends on what texture I want and also the timeline in me. Like blacksmithing. When I first started, it was 1 ball peen hammer, and that's all I had. And I think right now, if I did a count, I probably have close to like 35 hammers. Bennett, you're cool as hell. I don't know what you're basing that on, but I'm basing it on the same thing. Razel Redgrave. Redgrave, what a name. Said he watched a lot of your videos, and she finds it generous how you construct them and practice with them. He thinks it's great and greets you from Argentina. Thank you for translating. That's amazing. And thank you. I don't know if I guess you do understand this, and that's amazing. You're amazing. Thank you, Argentina. If you do use a dog nose, why and what advantages does it bring? the added weight somehow adds for more focus and more movement, more power. There's just something elegant in how you're able to focus that power without having, it's like you have more weight, but you don't. You just have more focus. I just keep using the same word, so I'm just going to move on. You have Shuko. Do you have Ashiko as well? That was the one I was starting to clean. I do have Ashiko as well. I make a little change with mine that I have the leather bound right into it. And some of the older methods, they would use rope that would come through and bind to the toe, but I wanted to have something internal, and so it matched my other Shuko. Roger 2, I'm trying to ask if you watch a specific channel, but for some reason YouTube keeps on deleting, hiding my comment. That's strange. It must... Do I have a specific channel? I'm a big, like, how do I fix my problem person on YouTube? I'm sure there is those that I watch, but can I think of one at the moment? No, but I like it for research. The Gum Saber is the Vietnamese, I think. I'm not sure about anything else except profile. Ooh, I'll check it out. Vietnamese saber. Game Breaker, what's up? Talking about weaponry. Like a world weapon encyclopedia. That would be a really fun project. Have you ever been tempted to try tsukamaki? I'm learning, but hishigami are horrible to make. I do all my own handle wraps in hishigami. Just gonna have to just wash your mind clean of that idea, because without the hishigami, it just does not bring the life together. Those little tiny I use centimeter by centimeter rice paper that I fold very specifically, and I use like a boshiriken to get the points really crisp. It's worth it, and your fingers are gonna get so strong, but you'll be so much happier with the handle wraps that you do. So much happier. Game Breaker, have you had any? Do you have any sai? I do have sai. I only have two kinds right now. I have the standard sai. I say it's standard. It's kind of standard. And then I have a kind of non-standard sai, which is still standard sai, but it's extra pointy. Those ones are meant for throwing more than anything, and these need an upgrade to an actual shuriken style. But yeah, sai is actually one of my favorite tools. I probably found your channel a few months before the claws. Great energy and good content. Thank you for keeping this up. Very motivational. How old were you when you started ninjutsu? Thank you, Brimstone. Those are wonderful things to say. When I actually found ninjutsu, I would have been... Okay, when I actually found the words ninjutsu, I would have been 7. When I found the actual art to start studying, I would have been 20. What forge finish do you use? Do you glue your work or something else? Chewy, no. I usually I like keeping as much of the hammer work in it as possible. I wire wheel it to take as much as that extra grime off. And if I'm leaving like that, it just goes straight to oiling. If not, I'll polish it up to like a 2000 and then oiling. For the most part, I'm always oiling. That if you're going to blue, you've got to take up to 500, which is 300 more than when you're tempering. So I feel that I'm going to start degrading the strength, as for the most part, I'm making blades. And then, that's a stupid way of stating, I want to practice with the darkening of steel or the blacking of it. Now, this was a European way of using linseed oil, and you heat the steel up until it kind of burns the oil, and you just keep continuing that process, which is at the 200 degree mark for tempering. So I think that is something I could get away with, even heat treated items. Personal preference. I prefer a dog face hammer so I can set my anvil a little lower. Oh, that's a fun point, because our anvils are set up for that knuckle. We've got another dog face. I didn't know they were called dog face ones. Michael Fostner, how did you get into the ninja thing? I guess fast forward that at one point I was looking into the monks of Mount Hiei. I think I'm saying that right. They were the walking monks. And it's a path to enlightenment, but there's no meat. You have to be vegetarian. I didn't really like that idea. Ninjutsu, and what I've come to learn later, as many martial arts do, offered a direct path to enlightenment, that so much of the training wasn't based for the training sense, it was based for developing the mind. And after finding that out, Ninjutsu just seemed to be the one for me. I have to look at the time. Oh, 10-minute mark, and then I should let everyone get back to their regular lives. GWYN. Anyone have any experience smithing in traditional Japanese method? Specifically, squatting over a small anvil on the floor rather than Western style. Oh, my name is pronounced like it rhymes with win. Oh, it's Welsh. Hi, Welsh. Gwyn. I thought it was an acronym, so I've been saying GWYN. Gwyn. Well, get to learn something every day. I like that style that they're sitting. And no, I've not. Maybe someone in the comments has tried that sitting style. And then coming up into Kiza, do your work as you're performing and getting others to do the hammering. I think that's the most luxurious. But to spend a whole day in a seated pose, I think I'd like to try it. But I'm set up in the Western style. Thank you, Gwyn. Guns to the gifted. FYI, Shinobi did not live Bushido. No, Samurai did. And why they found it so hard to battle Shinobi, as Samurai fought in honorable battle, Shinobi fought for overwhelming defeat. Though the ninja definitely had a lot of samurai schools within them, but yeah, 100%. Thanks for the positive comments. You're a great guy. You're a great guy, Jay. Thank you. Chewy, there's been some videos of bluing on here before. Very cool. Yeah, check it out, because bluing, if you do want to blue, that's just taking it up to that temperature and keeping it very even, and it's that evenness. I've seen people use the ceramic kilns to heat up because they hold such a constant temperature, but they can dial it in. And so blue and purple are very close, just a few degrees away. So as you practice your bluing technique, you can move it just towards that purple scale. Doesn't show. Is there a time that's too late to start? Is there a time that's too late to start? Oh, I did read that. No, there's always time to start. Start, begin, now, and you're off. You never even ponder upon the thought, should I not? Always, just do. How did this inspire you? Ginger Boy 63. Did I read that right? I did. How did this inspire me? Yeah, I don't know. I had a senpai asked why I do this. I spent like 3 days questioning that. Never came up with a proper answer. I don't know. Counting the forge finish question, the oils do you use? Quench and upkeep. I use engine oil. Loud. I use vegetable oil. I use like brand new vegetable oil. Not brand new. What I've used for frying, once it's been oxidized for household use, it goes out to the forge. So every time I actually have to quench in oil, the forge smells great. Other than that, I do very little quenching in oil. Only if something has to, like chisels, something that's going to have to take a lot of abuse. Those are the only ones that see oil. Anything bladed, I like to do in water because I want them a little extra brittle to keep them really sharp. Yeah, Jay, a modern way to blacken steel is to heat it up red hot and quench it with oil. Now that is going to quench the whole thing, but you can also just heat it up to 200 and have very close to the same effect, and you're not going to like interrupt that crystalline structure. Thank you for your honest answer, my friend. I also want to be a monk. Yes, that mindset, that what are we going to make of ourselves? So you're welcome, and thank you. Dunzo. Is there a time that is, oh, no, start. Oh, Chewy, you're off. Have a great day. Thanks for the live stream. You're welcome. Thank you for your support, and good luck with your projects. Guns for Gil. Okay, that's great. I didn't ever say they did. No, you didn't. But it's still a fun point. But Bushido, really, as in today, we can all practice that regardless of where we come from. I say love watching you make traditional weapons the traditional way. Thank you for doing what you do. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoy the next video, because I'm still having to make 88 individual little diamond nails. It's going to take 4 days, but it's going to be done traditionally. Oh, I like silly questions. Gwyn, Coco, or Iga. Oh, I come from Bujinkan, so I'd be Iga. But Coca's got the great claws. And why should there be borders? So, it's still ego. The throwing darts, they're pretty great. I'm assuming you mean these ones. There's so much weight behind them. They're the nicest ones yet, and I just keep shrinking. Love from Alaska. I'm glad to hear it. All the best from Alaska. All the best to Alaska. Thank you, Sensei. P.S. Put your phone camera on the wall so you can clean and talk at the same time. That'd be smart. Because I start cleaning and then just end up talking, and then apparently I can't do two things at once. Hey, I need more practice. So thank you, Brimstone. Student that started 2 years ago, age 66, and still going strong. That's awesome. Yeah, it's never too late. Just always start. And if you have already started and you're thinking about getting back, just begin. An ill of topic, but keys can be used as a self-defense weapon, can be kept as grabbed inside of a pocket and be thrown into surprise, distractor placed between fingers while making a fist. Yeah, that's so true. Or like an extra little dongle that's technically just a keychain can also be a little piece of steel. But I'm trying to be a Catholic monk. Hey, that's a very different monk, but monk just the same and working towards an understanding of your own mind, I assume. I work at a blacksmith shop, sword in the stone, learning all the time. Really? That's awesome. You work a modern day blacksmith shop. Still, I find that awesome. Carson Sanchez. I have a Sanchez friend. I don't think you're them, but hello, Sanchez. 4 more minutes and then I have to run away. I apologize. Love from Pakistan. You love the work. Thank you. I'm definitely getting a pin map so we can put all of us on a map. What is your next weapon on the list? I've just started this weapon, which will be a kanabo when I'm done. I've got the nail still to go in and all the steel ribs and more steel helmets and a little steel doodad. And then there's a ring at the very bottom that goes. So that's the newest project. Oh, Walter Sanchez is here. Hey, Walter, I still haven't finished everything. I still have to dye the string. I had to get new string and I haven't dyed this stuff yet. So I'm glad you're patient. Brimstone, no, you're just a great entertainer and good person. Live go to go. Now drive home in the dark. Have a great night. You have a great night and safe travels, and thank you for your comments. Walter Sanchez. Well, where if you haven't said anything, Walter, how am I supposed to know you're here? I have to say hello to another Sanchez. It's very fun there. I'm glad. You should have a fun experience when you're working. Okay, well, Jay, thanks for enjoying and being here. Enjoy your night, and yeah, it's got to be like 9 o'clock almost for you. I'm excited too, Sanchez. I took this last one out, and I've been throwing it on my own. I will return it, but I'm going to have to match strings. But they throw really nicely. The old ways always work. Thank you, Ninja Clan Charlie Howell, New York. Do you want to make a kamayari? I do want to make a kamayari. Yes, a double-sided kamayari. But I want to do a bizento first. So many things. I got to head out, but I appreciate your channel. I appreciate you, man. You have a good night. Guns for the gifted. Thank you for your words earlier. That was a great description of Bushido. Oh, and I got to the last comment. We've done it. Where can I buy your product? Currently, you can't buy anything. I've got everything just hidden, and I am just focusing on the channel right now, which is like super selfish. But when I am up and running again, which will probably be next year, I will do like a hello. PGL, I'm back temporarily before clocking in. Glad to see we're still going. Hit that like, people. Oh, you got me to say it. You got me to say it. Thanks, PGL. Well, we're all caught up. People are going back to work, and I should let everyone go on their own adventures. So thank you, everyone. Not selfish at all. Thanks, Walter. Though this coming from a guy that's waiting for items that I need to finish for him. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to talk to you all later, and I'll see you next time. Ooh, sorry, Michelle. Michael, I'll answer that next time. I guess it does start for this moment with waking up. Goodbye, all.